to the new thing isn't global warming or isn't Ukraine or isn't COVID. Now it's the Muslims. And I don't like a lot of the stuff Israel's doing. I think they stood down. I think it was a false flag. I mean, I think real Islamicist attack, but it was clearly money Biden sent. But what's the larger picture here with Harvard and the big universities endorsing this? We got a lot to talk about in the 45 minutes or so we've got him, and I'm going to cover some more news after he leaves us in this hour before the next guest joins us. But clearly we said another big war is coming. That's going to be the distraction from the COVID deaths, all the rest of it. And now they're trying to trigger a holy war. Obviously, you get boosted big on Twitter and everywhere else, Hotep, where you're already reaching millions a day if you got on the bandwagon. But clearly the establishment is trying to create some type of clash of civilizations here. Hotep Jesus, thank you for joining us, hotepjesus.com. And the people can also find you at Hotep Jesus on Twitter and menofhonor.com. So, Hotep, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Alex. So, yeah, so your take on Israel's pretty much similar to my take. Obviously, the timing is convenient. We have election season now here, a.k.a. grifting season. Nikki Haley has proven to be a supreme grifter herself after her comments on Fox last night. But what's the bigger story here? Well, first of all, the next distraction is to create something domestically, right? Create some sort of event domestically. Now, it's been happening in spurts here and there. You have protesters clashing. You have Grand Central Station being attacked by pro-Palestine protesters. You have Jewish people being attacked. A lot of different skirmishes have taken place on domestic soil. Much of this planned, much of this known by the elite rulers. And that was one of my fears early on, where there's conflict in the Middle East, and because of all the vitriol on social media spilled into our streets. Now, much of this stuff, as we know, Hamas and Palestine has been supported by George Soros. Black Lives Matter supported by George Soros. We've tracked down some of these protests between the pro-Palestine socialists, but I think Stop the War Coalition is one of them. And Jeremy Corbyn is partly behind some of these protests. So what we have is a communist socialist takeover of another people's struggle. But what's the bigger story that's happening here? Well, while everybody's distracted by the Middle East, what we are experiencing is a complete and total financial transformation where money is going to change how it operates, both at a wholesale level and a retail level. Right now, the House Financial Services Committee is discussing Basel III Endgame. And basically what they're talking about now is, what are the capital requirements for a banking institution? Now, we know what the capital requirements have been since COVID. They said that they are basically zero. You need zero reserves. But now Basel III is challenging some of that and saying that banks need to hold more money, more cash, more capital, which is going to hurt, obviously, the small guys. So what we're looking at right now is actually a huge transformation of the banking industry. If you look, you'll see many banks right now shutting down. You have Wells Fargo.
By the way, let me just interrupt you and say, bingo, 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 ding, 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 ding. We're coming to the end of the big bubble, the new rollout of the central bank currencies. They admit it, and they need crises as the diversion to bring this in.
That's correct. And not only so the crises is going to be the diversion so they don't see all the laws being passed. But then later on, the crisis is going to be the reason why we need the new banking transformation, right? So we have Basel III. Let's put that aside for a second. They're meeting about that today. FCC is meeting about total control of the internet. That's happening today. Now, let's focus on the banks really fast. So we have Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase. All of these places are shutting down your local branch banking institution, right? And they're saying it's because everybody's moving online. So payments are moving digital. You were talking about before the break how we have POS happening now without a human being. I was thinking this morning that we might start to have transactions happening without even your card. So the way the CBDC system is working, central bank digital currency is working, is through QR codes, and the offline payments are actually going to operate through your cell phone. So I'm guessing within the next 5 years, not only cash is going to start to dwindle, but credit cards potentially start to dwindle, which brings us into the key component of all of this, which is the digital ID system. The European Union, you can have you guys look this up, European Union have decided to go ahead, despite privacy concerns.
That's right. They passed it last Friday.
Correct. Decided to go ahead with their digital ID system. And they're also in discussion for the CBD. So what I'm looking at here is that there's some sort of link between the digital ID and the CBDC, and it looked like...
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Elon has returned. He's back. The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the Grift Report. I'm your host, the Griff God. We're live 2 p.m. Eastern every day. I'm your host, the Griff God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hey, Hotep to the chat. What up, y'all? Shout out to all my Hoteps, Hotepistanians out there. Everybody is a member of Hotepia. Rumble's down. Hotep, y'all.
Hotep.
So this weekend, I spent some time away from the internet. I spent some time just away from everything. I went in my own little place, and I did not engage with anyone. And I gotta tell you, it was fabulous. And I didn't realize how fabulous it was until today. When I started working, I was like, wow, I have all this huge mental clarity. So I expect a great show today. We got a lot to discuss. But first, because I had this mental clarity, I've just been like working like crazy all day. And I want to show you something. Hold on. Let's see if we can pull this up. Hold on. Somebody made an intro for the Grift Report. I want to get you guys feedback on this. Tell me what you think. Hold on. Let's pull this up. Let me see. Boom. Boom. Okay, good. It can show. All right. Boom, boom. And then boom. All right, cool. Maybe you guys can see that. Tell me what you think about this. Hold on. I gotta get the dimensions of this right. All right, here we go. I just want to make sure you guys see this as you should, and then condense it. Take that away. Hold on. All right, tell me what you guys think about this intro. I think he sent me 2. All right, let's take a look. All right, so that's the first one. Let's see if we can pull up the second one now. Oh, that's just the music. Okay. Yeah, that's just the music. Okay, cool. What do you guys think about that? Should I run it? Should I run it? Should I run that? It does feel like Law and Order. It does feel like Law and Order. Familiar Human says 4 out of 10. I think my issue is, and I don't want to sound like Law and Order, right? Like, definitely not something I want to sound like. Where is it? Hold on, let me bring this back up. Who is this guy? Who is this white man right here? Anybody know who this is? Who's this man on the screen? Does anybody know? Take a guess. Unoriginal. Pretty dope, but you finna get sued. Well, it's not the exact Law and Order music. Somebody changed a couple of chords in there, and yeah, they altered the chords a little bit. Larry Fink. The mix is way too boomy and yeah, unoriginal. I like it, but you might get sued. Loki got you though. Larry Fink, Black Rock. Okay. Okay. That's who that is? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know who it was. So we got Larry Fink. Then he played, then Elon's here. I don't even like these people. Like, he just put a whole bunch of people on my screen I don't like. Like, why is Pearly Things here? All due respect to, you know, whoever's on this screen right now. I see Legal Minds set in the bottom right. I see Shaka. I see Viva. I see that crazy kid in the back. I forget his name. Ed Lattimore, Scott Adams, Michael Malice, Royce, Tanai, The Quartering. I think this is Vin. I don't know who this is. I can't see. Savo. But why the hell is Pearly Things in my intro? No. Like, why would I want... No. So my issue isn't so much the, you know, the copy pasta. Let's go with this Jefferson. And who's this dude on the left right here? Anybody know who this is? Which one of those ancient philosophers is that? I don't think it's Plato. Is that Socrates or Aristotle? Which one of those is that? Huh? That Unk should be on there? At least somebody I know. Anybody know who that guy is on the left? Now I like this part, right? Now it's like, okay, great. Now I enter the picture. So this is cool. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna run it. I don't think I'm gonna run it. I kind of like the intro I have now. Yeah, it's all Law and Order vibes. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we got a lot to discuss today. Is that Aurelius? I don't think is that Marcus Aurelius? Maybe. No Rumble today. Rumble's down. I don't know what happened. I got a 500 error, so it is what it is. Let's close that. Let's close that. What else we got back here? Let's close these windows. I want to just save all of my computer power to make sure we don't have any issues. So Alex Jones has returned, and I was tagged. People tagged me in our group chat. And like I said, I had checked out of everything this weekend. So when they said, hey, you know, Elon and Alex Jones are here and they're doing the Twitter Spaces. First of all, I don't even fucking like the Twitter Spaces. I don't like the way Mario runs his Twitter Spaces. I don't trust Mario Norfall or whatever his name is. I don't trust his information. So I would never participate in any of his Twitter Spaces. Unless somebody else asked me, like if Alex is like, yo, B, I want you to join, or Elon was like, Hotep, I need you to join this, I just wouldn't do it. I don't find these chats productive. I don't like the way they're run. I think I run a better Twitter Spaces than anybody. It's not to toot my own horn. I'm just a great moderator. And everybody's seen that. If you see me moderate debates, everybody tells you straight up what's going on. Everybody tells you I have the best interviews. So, participating in something that is run by something or somebody, run by somebody who is lesser than me just isn't fun. So I don't participate in these things. And like I said, I was doing like a whole Twitter detox. So where I wasn't participating and I wasn't reading, wasn't scrolling. I did my best to just keep track of some of the business messages we have in our chat groups on Twitter. Other than that, I did not check in. But I wouldn't have participated in this. I wouldn't have turned this Twitter space on anyway. And I prefer just give me the cliff notes. Now, this is my boy, Alex Jones here. So if I did participate, it would be to listen to him, but I just don't really like going into people's Twitter spaces. I only participate in like maybe sixes. I'll go to six. I'll go to Stackies. I'll go to Sunnies. I'll create my own. I just don't like it. But anyway, let's, so we got the cliff notes here. We got about an hour 35 of footage, and somebody has done a great job recording this. We're not going to play all of it. Apparently, and again, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here when I say people can't run Twitter spaces and they can't be trusted. I mean, just the people involved in some of this shit is just absolutely ridiculous. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on a second. I mean, just turned into a complete shit show. What? How many accounts does Laura Luma have? Jesus. Breaking. Tucker Carlson just launched a new media venture called Tucker Carlson Network. Says he will be hosting multiple new shows and a video service that will have both free and paid levels of content. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. All right, Laura's just like fucking. She's a beast. She just tweets all day. Where is it? Hold on. Once I find it, I'll bring it up on your screen. Here we go, right here. So if you take a look at this. Look at this. That's why I don't like going in these spaces. This is the shit we got to deal with. Look. So her and Mario got a back and forth going, right? And anyway, she's so Mario says here, well, she's complaining first, right? She says, leaving the space, Mario Norfall sent me a DM asking me to be on the panel with Alex Jones. And every time I ask to speak while Elon Musk is on, he drops me and stops me from asking a question. He has now done this 5 times in a row. Everyone saw it, blah, blah, blah. Then he says you kept interrupting. And the cycle repeats itself. We let you back up, blah, blah, blah. Then she complains. She calls him a pathological liar. And then she turns into a fucking, I'm going to say it. She just turns into a fucking idiot. Where is it? Is it? No, it's not this tweet. Is it this one? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Right here. Look, right here. He's like, he did it 5 times. It's blatant. Guess he doesn't want a Jewish woman to speak. I have to wonder if this is an Islamic thing directed at me for being an outspoken Jewish woman. And this is why Jewish people get a bad rap, because you got people like her that be doing this shit. Like, oh, this is about me being a Jew. And then there's like some people that do this, oh, it's about me being black. And it's just like, yo, maybe I just don't fucking like you as a person. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, maybe Mario just don't like her, right? I don't think this has anything with Jew hatred. Maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does. But the fact that she shoehorned this into the conversation. But again, this is why I don't fuck with Twitter spaces. Because every time these motherfuckers run one, it just turns into fucking a shit show. And it's just unproductive. So I don't waste my time. I'll wait for the Cliff Notes. So let's go to the Cliff Notes.
It's been these are tumultuous times, wild times indeed. As you just mentioned, when there's an account with a large number of followers that is restored to the system, you have to re-knit the thing together. So that takes several hours. So Alex's account should be working. And Alex, I honestly don't really know you, and you don't know me.
Welcome back, Alex Jones.
One of the questions I really have to just get out of the way, and you've probably talked about this already before, is the whole Sandy Hook thing. If somebody's sort of denying or that murders of children, that's not cool at all. And so just what exactly did you say, and what is going on with that situation? I would like to actually hear what did you say? And yeah.
Well, Elon, thank you for allowing me back into the public square so that I can actually tell the world what really happened. I don't know how much. Would you like the short answer or the medium answer or the long answer?
I think at least the medium answer. I guess people just want to know, obviously it would be heartless and cruel to deny a school shooting of children or to attack the parents.
You see
or
Laura
anyone
Loomer right
who is
there,
involved. Right? It seems that would be, just incredibly mean and cruel, frankly. So it's sort of, that's, I think, what a lot of people are upset about, or at least they think that is the reason to be upset about. Sure. And, if that were true, I think we would rightly be, upset with you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, please let me then just tell you what really happened, okay? And if you want me to send you a dossier with clips and videos and articles.
I mean, post it to your account,
Yes, sir, I will do that. So let me tell you what happened. I'm a guy that didn't go to college. I mean, a few years of community college. I started out on Access TV 29 years ago. I was not professionally trained. And by 2000, I had 30 million viewers and listeners a day conservatively. I was the biggest show, as big as Rogan is now or bigger. And I had a very small operation and did not even understand how powerful I was. And so when that event, I just call it the school shooting, which I do believe happened 11 years ago, the internet exploded, and it was a top story for off and on for years with all these professors and former school safety people and all of them saying they believed it was a drill. And I simply covered them covering that. What was entered in court against me in both cases where I was found guilty by judges. There's a judge in Trump's case, not even a jury, in his real estate case. And then years later, after Trump got elected and after I was deplatformed, it made me bigger. And so suddenly I would wake up and there would be sometimes 100 articles or more a day, every major news channel saying that I was currently saying nobody died, currently sending people to their houses, currently peeing on graves. I didn't even know these people's names. I only said one of their names ever. Now, and I believe their children died, and I understand all that.
Okay.
But I'm saying, imagine I was not deplatformed, no mention of the school shooting in Connecticut for 6-7 years. Then they go back to my timeline, and it turns out it was a big New York PR firm, Democratic Party. They dredge it up. They run hundreds of articles, sometimes a day, but a week for over a year. Suddenly it becomes a big story again.
What's the PR firm?
Pardon me?
Which propaganda firm was this? PR is public relations is a propaganda word for propaganda. So I think we should call this propaganda firms, because that is, in fact, what they do. So what propaganda firm was this?
I will find the name as soon as I'm off, because I can't do 2 days. I'm not good at doing 2 days at once. I can't walk and chew bubblegum, but I will post it to the 2X, because after they got their $1.5 billion judgment and asked for $2.67 trillion, that the GDP of India, I'm not joking, folks, that's Bloomberg. They then came out and bragged that they had quarterbacked the whole thing. They're one of the biggest. They do the UN's PR.
Okay.
Not that they had quarterbacked, quote, destroying Alex Jones. And so I did question it. I did say at times I could see that. I'm not even say it now. They'll take it out of context. Say I said it again. I did have what they entered in court on me was 23 minutes of video and audio over 5-6 years. We did an audit. I hadn't talked about them when they sued me for 2 years. I refused to talk about it. I apologized when the PR firm got involved. I didn't know who it was at the time. It was just all in the news. I said, hey, I thought it happened.
Yeah.
I said it happened. I decided it happened 5 years after it happened. So I said, I'm not the Sandy Hook guy. It turns out some of these experts that said it didn't happen are crazy. They made up stuff. I said, I believe it happened. And then they spun it and said, oh, now he admits he lied about it. So it isn't who I was. It's kind of like they've done with you, and you did nothing like I did. I mean, I did question it. I did say a few times that I thought it hadn't happened, but I didn't turn the knife. I didn't really think about it. I thought about how I was talking about the internet with YouTube videos with 30, 40 million views that I didn't make.
Sure.
It was a hot topic that would come back from time to time. But no, I was not the creator of it. I was not the progenitor of it. I was not the guy pushing it. And then I kept saying, no, I believe it happened. And they went, aha, you now admit you lied for money. So what's not true is I never made any money off of it. I barely ever covered it. It's not my identity. And it's just like they misrepresent what you say, take one little thing and twist it, and then say you need to apologize for it. And then they just keep hammering it and hammering it. So I've been desperately, I mean, in fact, I'll post it to X if you want. There's over 100 apologies that I've given, over 100. In fact, probably 500. Every show I go on, they ask this. I apologized on Joe Rogan's show 5 years ago. I apologized on Patrick Ben-David's show 5 years ago. I mean, these are prominent ones. I apologize on every show, and I'll say it again. I apologize that I just gave my commentary, because I'm really just a guy that talk radio host. So I do that on the internet. I just take calls, interview guests, and that I play devil's advocate. And if that hurt people's feelings, I apologize. But I did not send people to your houses. I did not pee on graves. I don't know any of the stuff that went on. And then when they had the trials, after I was found guilty, trials on damages, there was never any video of people peeing on graves, any video of people at houses. There was an FBI agent who was there that day at the tragic event in New Haven, Connecticut, with Sandy, I can say the name. He was there, and he didn't have an FBI vest on, and his gun was pointed the wrong direction, pointed upside down. The internet questioned him. When he got on the stand in Connecticut, my lawyer said, has Mr. Jones ever said your name? No. Has Mr. Jones ever put your picture on the internet? No. Have any of his hosts done it? No. Has InfoWars ever put your picture out and said your name? No. What happened to you, sir? One man, he said, called 8 years ago now and asked me if I was really an FBI agent. The jury gave him $94 million that doesn't exist. $94 million that never said his name. So I challenge people to find me say any of their names. I said one guy's name, and I apologized to him on the stand. The thing had probably 100 million views on 5 or 6 different YouTube videos of him smiling and laughing before he walked to the mic. I played the clip one time and said, yeah, that looks like he's an actor. I did not attack him, did not come after him, did not say his child didn't die. Look, I don't want to fight with him, though. I said to them in a deposition, I said, I will chop my pinky finger off with a meat cleaver right now. And I will, if you'll just leave me alone and stop saying I made hundreds of millions of dollars off of you and stop saying I'm attacking you. So it's very simple. I have become, and I know what happened. The media ran a year of articles attacking them in my name, saying things I never said as a straw man, enraging them against me. And then, so that they've been victimized, they've been manipulated by a PR operation. And so I would love to come on X with the families. I'd love to raise money on this show or your show, Elon, or any of them. I'd love to come on here and raise them $10 million for gun safety awareness next week. I would love to be in an open panel with them. I would love.
Okay. It actually looks like Ed Krasenstein wants to talk. Maybe Ed, could be good to hear from you.
Yeah. So I kind of have a question for you, Elon.
That's his voice. Yo, y'all heroes. Let me just go ahead.
So let's say that.
Okay. I mean, this is not an opportunity to have you.
How old is this guy?
No, it's in regards to Alex Jones, though.
Okay.
What is he, like 15 years old?
It's related. So let's say Alex Jones or somebody else does the same thing, but clearly directly claims that a school shooting did not take place when we know it did. Does that future person or Alex Jones get banned, or is the new policy that they remain?
We need to look at the circumstances there. Like, you know, that we're trying to follow here is to obey the law. So obey the laws of the United States, obey the laws of the countries in which X is present, and really do our best to not go beyond the law on the premise that if the people wish the law to be different, then the people will ask their representatives or their leaders to change the law. But otherwise, our goal is to hew as closely to the law as possible. So if somebody says something that is unlawful, then we will take action. If someone does not do something that is unlawful, then we would aspire to not take action. If the laws change, of course, then we will adjust our behavior accordingly. So that's sort of the general approach that we're taking. And now that we have community notes, which, while it's not perfect, I think it's the best fact checking that I've seen on the internet. And so if someone were to post false information, they can be community noted. And, you know, it's always important to say, like, no fact-checking system is perfect. If perfection is the standard, you can just basically dispense with all fact-checking because nothing will be perfect. But really, it's really how good is the batting average of any fact-checking system. My observation of community notes is that the batting average, the probability that the note is correct is very high, much better than anything else that I've seen on the internet. And everything in community notes, the code, the data, everything is open source. So you can independently recreate the outcome of any note as a third party. So it's full transparency. So I think that having the community notes capability is a very powerful, it's the most powerful disinformation weapon that I'm, for actually combating disinformation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can I throw something in real quick here? Look, this is why I believe what people were saying and actually questioned and for a little while thought it might not have happened. We were lied to about WMDs in Iraq. We were lied to about anthrax in Iraq. There was Operation Northwoods. There was Operation Northwoods in 2000. ABC News, declassified. The U.S. government planned to stage fake mass shootings and blowing up airlines with people that would take off and would land, CIA, and then they would actually just blow up a drone plane and then claim a mass event had happened or claim a mass fake shooting happened. So Jussie Smollett lied about what he did. Hezbollah and Hamas, Hezbollah ran it, did kill a lot of Israelis, condemned the attack, but it wasn't true that they cut a bunch of kids' heads off. Even the White House and Israel has to admit that. Well, people came out and said they didn't believe that there was proof that Hamas cut heads off. So the establishment view was they did cut heads off. They didn't. So how do we penalize people if somebody wants to believe the earth's flat, they have a right to, and the community notes and everybody else can challenge them. But it's the establishment lying so much that makes people not believe anything. And then they lose faith in everything. I'm actually worried about this because a lot of my audience is so disillusioned, they think I'm an agent or something too. I'm not. So I don't know how we handle this, but I think the government and the media and the think tanks and the PR firms, the propaganda firms, as Elon rightfully said, have been lying professionally so much, they've poisoned the well where no one knows what to believe. They've created a smoke screen. And so I don't know how we deal with that other than getting the...
Alex, I just want to be clear, Hamas does have a habit of cutting off heads. They're quite proud of cutting off heads. This particular circumstance, perhaps there is some uncertainty, but they do...
I got to stop right there. So Alex Jones is talking about a very specific report of saying heads are chopped off. That report comes to find out it's not true. Then here comes Elon, Captain Save a Zionist. What does he say? Oh, but Hamas does chop off heads. And it's like, bro, that's not what we talking about. We're not talking about, past events. We're talking about this specific event, October 7th. Come on, son.
Cut off a lot of heads, and that is, there's no question about that. And they appear to be quite jubilant. They were quite happy when they cut these heads off.
I don't like Hamas. I don't like the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't like Hezbollah. You're right. That is a hallmark.
They're proud of cutting off heads. Is my observation.
No, and I agree. Yosemite Sam, his hallmark is shooting his guns and a red beard and he's short. Hamas's calling card is cutting off heads. I totally agree. But I'm saying
they do that a lot.
You're right.
Yeah.
Elon, do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Go to you right after.
Yeah, guys.
I'm going to go to you right after Vivek. Yeah, go ahead, Vivek.
I just wanted to, share one thought in response.
Now, everybody saw that, right? Did you guys catch that? Remember Laura was talking about getting booted? And he said it was for interrupting. What did she interrupt? If you look, hold on. Oh, this motherfucker changed this pin tweet. Are you serious, Elon? You really dead ass just removed it from your profile like while I was watching it? You dead ass just did that. You dead ass just changed your pin tweet. You removed. I was about to say, here it go. I thought he removed the whole thing.
Experience of
Elon rightfully said have been lying professionally so much. Go to
you right after.
So listen right here. It looks like there's like a break in the conversation. It's about to go to the next speaker, and that's when Laura jumps in.
But they do cut off a lot of heads, and that is, there's no question about that. And they appear to be quite jubilant. They're quite happy when they cut these heads off.
I don't like Hamas. I don't like the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't like Hezbollah. You're right. That is a hallmark.
They're proud of cutting off heads, is my observation.
No, and I agree. Yosemite Sam, his hallmark is shooting his guns and a red beard and he's short. Hamas's calling card is cutting off heads. I totally agree. But I'm saying
at the same
they do that a lot.
You're right.
Yeah.
Elon, do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I'll go to you right after.
Yeah, guys.
I'm going to go to you right after Vivek. Yeah, go ahead, Vivek.
I just wanted to, share one thought.
And then boom, he boots her. Just like that, he boots her. Nah, this isn't live. This is a replay. This is a supercut of the replay. This is why sometimes I don't watch things live, because I'm like, I'll just wait for the cliff notes. Somebody give me a shortened version so I don't waste 4 hours of my life. But you saw that, right? Like, she jumped in same times with Vivek, and then he booted her. I don't think she did anything wrong.
In response to Ed's question, which is, let's take the content of whatever speech it was that's issue off the table, kids being shot in schools or otherwise. I think there's two kinds of ways to worry if you're worried about the spread of misinformation or false facts. One is, let's deal with the content of the speech itself. And Elon talked about community notes as being, imperfect though it is, maybe the best method out there on the internet. And I think that's one set of discussions to have. That's quite a different thing from, first of all, let's just make the observation that if I heard Alex Jones that's where he was. I said, bad speech through more.
Will sign off on some bad weapon system. Then he retires and gets on the major board of the defense contractor for $5 million a year. It's a revolving door. And so that's why when these big PR firms snap and say jump, the media says how high, and you're absolutely, when it comes to fact checking, they're really one of the most nasty, deceptive groups out there.
Yeah, they're propaganda firms. It would just make a lot more sense if you just think PR firm equals propaganda. PR equals propaganda. That is literally what it means. And if you read the
statement, dropping out, Elon. He's dropping out. Is he dropping out for anyone else?
Yes, he's dropping off for me. Elon, you said.
Yeah, you just dropped out, Elon. I think you're back now. Okay, is your mic working? It's good now. It's good now.
My mic is working, but I'm just
back. You were on PR firms. You were on PR firms equal propaganda.
Yes, the public should really understand that public relations literally just means propaganda. PR firm means propaganda, and the PR firms have very strong control over the traditional media, because that's where journalists go to retire and make tons of money. So there's a very strong monetary incentive for journalists to do what the PR firms say, because they know that is where they're going to get rich in the future.
Bingo.
Elon, a question is more for Alex. And Alex, me and Alex were discussing it before you jumped on, is the pressure, if any, that you've faced since reinstating, or since you said you'll reinstate Alex. Now, Alex, kind of referred to extreme scenarios where your life could be in danger because of what you're doing with X. I know you mentioned it briefly in one of the first spaces we had. You made a joke about, hey, guys, if something happens to me, I'll never commit suicide. But how much pressure have you faced in recent months? Obviously, we've seen the back and forth with a few organizations that are trying to censor others. And has that increased since you reinstated Alex?
I mean, at this point, reading the sort of legacy media is just depressing. I accidentally, once in a while, will go see like Google News or whatever, or Yahoo News or whatever, some random thing. And I'm like, this is just, I mean, frankly, the quality of the propaganda isn't even good. Look, if you're going to do propaganda, at least make it entertaining.
And I find it's so
boring,
in this
and just not even well written.
Well, that's right. They'll put out one thing and then they all parrot it.
It's like movie propaganda. It's like work harder.
We've got Andrew Tate here as well. Andrew, how are you? Andrew, your mic, is it working? You got to unmute bottom left corner.
Can you hear me?
We can, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, friend. I'm in the middle of a poker game, but since this is the battle for humanity against the Satanists with its constant deception of the populace, I thought I would jump in and say hello to everybody.
Your thoughts, Andrew? We had your brother on earlier, Tristan, come on earlier. Your thoughts on Alex Jones being back on X?
I'd rather hear his thoughts on Elon Musk being the biggest maverick of the last 500 years. I'm not kissing ass here. Elon, you've got big ones, man, on every front. You are literally overturning the entire power structure. I was just going to say this and let Andrew get in, but I want to say this while you're here. I mean, you are literally changing the entire paradigm, and you've definitely got the system scared. And so everybody needs to support X. Everybody needs to support the sponsors on X. I personally am doing all my Christmas shopping this year with all the great gadgets and stuff that are on X. But I'm going to shut up now. But I would imagine, instead of talking about Alex Jones, I'd like to hear Andrew Tate talk about or ask questions to Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, Alex is certainly a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and I'm extremely happy he's back. I've celebrated that public.
So let's stop right there. The adoration for Elon from Alex Jones. I think for Alex being back on Twitter is a big thing. I mean, it's more specifically the fact that his links were banned. I mean, I try to post a link to a show and it wouldn't work. Band.video wouldn't work. Infowars.com doesn't work. So every time I talked to Alex and did an interview, his producers would send me a different link. And they just kept creating new URLs because all the URLs got banned. So there's that angle. Also, the fact that his URLs are not banned means more traffic for his shows, more shares directly to Twitter. So I understand why Alex is happy because, you know, he just got his pants suit off of him and now he's back and he's going to get a ton more traffic. So this channel opening up for him is big, huge. This is a huge channel for him, specifically when he tweets, when he gives his opinion. This is huge going into election season. People having direct access to Alex Jones now, huge.
Publicly, but Alex nailed it. Elon is taking the biggest risk here. It takes unlimited energy to propagate lies. You have to continually repeat them, and you have to continue to try and falsify information and hide the truth to keep lies afloat. And this simple purchase, you call it simple, the purchase of a simple website has literally cracked the matrix in real time, and it becomes extremely difficult now to run the psyops they were previously running and enslave the populace, which is their primary goal. So Elon is a hero, absolutely. And the risks you are taking, Elon, I don't think many people at home actually understand the gravity of the risks you are taking, because your ability to speak freely is heavily leveraged against your insignificance. You're only allowed to speak if nobody listens to you. And if you get big and people start listening, they're going to come at you hard. And I think, I'm not completely versed, but from what I understand, Elon's already suffering the lawfare tactics, which they're going to do. They're going to keep pulling out the hat to try and slow him down. Or
Andrew, let me interrupt before I forget. I don't give him any attention. The same law firm that came after me with these PR firms.
You've just dropped out. I think Alex
just dropped out.
Anyone else can? Yeah, I think he got a call. No, he got a call. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
There is a 3-letter agency running this. Not all of them, but let's just say it starts with a C and it ends with an A. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's liberal NGOs which will sponsor agents of the Matrix. They'll sponsor females to end up in a house party and then lie to try and then put you in a Romanian jail cell and get you sitting with the cockroaches in a dungeon. And it's a very scary world where you get to a point where you're only trying to tell the truth, and they're going to punish you for that using endless lawfare. And this battle has only just begun. But the Matrix has truly cracked now, and it's going to be extremely hard to lie to us like they did before with X, the way it currently is. And I think it came at exactly the right time. I almost, without trying to sound pessimistic, there was a point where I kind of felt like I was losing hope. You couldn't tell the truth about anything. Everything was a lie. Everything from head to toe was a lie. And they're trying to lock us all back in our houses again, and we can finally talk about it. It's truly heroic. And Elon's taking massive risk, and the respect I have for him for doing that is enormous.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what happened. I'm going to shut up. So I want to hear from Elon, but this is so historic. Elon Musk's courage, and it's true, I'm saying, has broken the back of the globalists. They'll never be able to turn this around again unless they have a nuclear war. Elon Musk has broken their back.
Yeah. Well, I guess some people are afraid to die, but I am not.
And you know what? It's kind of crazy because I was talking to someone the other day and I was explaining, they were asking about my seizure, how they took all my houses, all my money, all my cars, blah, blah. And I said, you never truly own anything on this earth anyway. You can have a piece of paper that says you own it, but if you piss off the government structures, they just get a judge to stamp a different piece of paper and you no longer own it. The only thing you own is your soul and your integrity. And this is the one thing they cannot take away from you, no matter what they do to you. And that is the best feeling on earth. It doesn't matter if you can sell your soul to the devil and repeat what they want you to say, but then you truly own nothing. And I think that as history books look back on this pivotal moment, when X was finally freed and the information of the world could finally be spoken freely, I really do believe we're on the right side of history. And if you were to ask me if there's anything worth dying for, it would be for the freedom of humanity and to be on the right side of history. So I agree with you absolutely, Elon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just generally in favor of civilization and the furtherance of civilization.
Retro Neon Law, not Elon. I didn't like the fact that people had to vote to get Alex Jones back on Twitter. Alex didn't say or do anything wrong. Yeah, let's go to that really fast. Did I show that to you? They had a vote. December 9th, 2023, reinstate Alex Jones on his platform. 70% said yes. Total of nearly 2 million votes. There you have it. There you have it.
And I think we should always be concerned that we can regress as a civilization. And if you study history, you can just see the arc of one civilization after another as the civilizations rise and fall through history. We've been in a period of civilization rising very rapidly, but we should be concerned that we may be cresting, we may subside. And there are many times where I get late stage civilization vibes, and I'm just worried that maybe we're cresting as a civilization and have set it for a fall. So, yeah.
Well, I agree with you because I truly believe, and a lot of people have said this before me, this is not original idea, but I think as AI and machines and tech increases, a lot of people are going to be deemed useless by the overlords. And then you have to sit and decide, what are they going to do with all these people who have hopes and dreams, and they want healthcare, and they want a garden, and they want a house to live in, and they don't want to be treated like cattle. They're going to become extremely inconvenient. So I don't think many people at home understand that this war cannot be avoided. I've had a lot of people who understand why they threw me in jail in Romania and understood I've done nothing wrong. And they said to me, why do you take up this fight? Why you don't just delete your Twitter and disappear and drive a Ferrari all day? And I explained that this war cannot be avoided. You're either on the front line and you're fighting for something, or you're sitting waiting to die. You're waiting for the Mongol horde to come over the horizon and chop your head off.
I totally
way out
agree.
of it.
And just to throw this in there, if you read, Elon, I knew you were doing great work. When I saw you 6 months ago at the World Government Summit, where they're all saying we're going to make everybody eat bugs and we'll make the decisions to put microchips in them, and you said, we don't want a centralized system. We want a diverse system. We want firewalls. And I don't agree with this Tower of Babel you're building. They know that we go through cycles, and they want to artificially create a great reset collapse, in their own words, to make everybody else poor, consolidate power, and they'll have a smaller type 2 civilization for themselves. And I think you're trying to build a type 2 civilization, or even a type 1 civilization, I should say, for all of us. And,
right.
And you said we need to have a debate about going interstellar. We've got to expand or we collapse. And Elon Musk is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't stay in stasis. You either expand or you collapse.
Yes, exactly. You either grow or you collapse. You don't. The steady state is basically an impossibility. So you have to pick it. You have to make a choice. Do you want to grow civilization, or do you want to decline and collapse?
That's a true statement. You either have growth or you have decline. Stagnation leads to decline. So you really don't have stagnation. This is something I talk about when I'm mentoring people or talking about business. But usually when you're talking about self-development, it's very important to understand that there is no such thing as stagnation. Stagnation is basically a form of decline. So you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You usually don't stay the same, right? So let's say you play a sport and you practice this sport and then you stop practicing. Well, that's not a state of stagnation. Your skill levels go down. You're going to need to pick the basketball up and dribble again to, get back to where you wanted to be.
Yeah, because, steady state is not stable. So, and I say we grow, and I say we expand, and we have more humans, and we become a multi-planet species and a spacefaring civilization, and ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that is the exciting, inspiring thing for the future. Not a declining human civilization that dwindles to nothingness and where humanity dies with a whimper.
And that's the bottom line. I think it is the battle of people who believe in humans and humanity and want it to expand against people who are so selfishly going through the earth and so selfishly oriented that they don't care about expanding civilization. They just want to control the humans that are currently here.
And Andrew, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Let me throw this caveat on it because I've read the writings of Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and the Club of Rome. They know we could easily expand. There's plenty of room, hundreds of billions of known galaxies. They know that this is just a seed that's going to not just grow into one giant oak, but an entire forest, an entire universe. And so they want to shut everybody else down because they can't deal with competition. Elon Musk that come out of the general public, they want a global tyranny so they can direct it and control it, so that they direct the expansion. And we can't let that happen because they literally talk about it in Agenda 20, the official UN plan, a 90% world population. So we need to go with the Elon Musk plan. And that's why I tell people that get upset, they go, Elon Musk is involved in every advancing technology. The globalists are pushing that too. Well, technology is like a gun. It's whose hand it's in. And so we need the gun in the people's hands, the gun of expansion. instead of in the globalist hands. And so just because Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of every technology, don't fear the technology like some troglodytes. Fear us not being in control of it. And Elon is saying we need it to be an expansionary human explosion of competition and freedom, not some new dark age with a tiny breakaway civilization that's only working for itself. Sorry, I'm ranting.
But no, but you're completely right, because if Elon doesn't push these boundaries, they will push these boundaries. And once they have the sole control and the monopoly over such technologies, it's over for all of us. And I don't think most people understand. It simply is the humanistic view against the death cult view. And there's people in the world who have no interest in, they have no interest in growing humanity, no interest in advancing the species as a whole. Their interest is in power and control, and all they want to do is have absolute power over the people that currently exist. And you can talk about all the perverse reasons they want to do those exact things, but it's truly scary. And all the people at home who don't really understand the gravity of this fight, they seem to think it's right wing, left wing.
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about it the wrong way. Sorry, I just got a little X here. You're totally exactly. This right, left is the wrong way to think about it. It's the sort of the extinctionists versus the pro-humans. And once you see that it's extinctionists versus the pro-humans, then it becomes very clear.
So Elon, when are you going to, I know you got 100 irons to the fire, but when you talk about we need to create a plan B for humanity, well, that's really
no, it's not a plan B. I mean, I think
an alternate master plan, because the globalists are controlled right now. You're trying to wrest control with us helping. I mean, when are you going to put out your battle plan, or are you already putting it out of pieces?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that actually, I think we should expand humanity. Like basically, we should have basically more kids. You know, population should increase, and we should become a multi-planet species, and you know, make life multiplanetary, build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, and then ultimately, you know, this will be long after I'm dead. Probably, but well, almost certainly, we can go to other star systems and go out there and, I don't know, maybe we'll find some long dead alien civilizations. And I don't think we want to be one of those lame one planet civilizations that never got beyond, you know, its own planet. I mean, we gotta, you know, the aliens gonna think of that. It's like we gotta make a good showing. Team Human. Let's go.
And that would absolutely, that would be certainly disappointing. But it's essential, and truthfully, it's so amazing we'd even speak about these things. Only 2 years ago, you couldn't even speak about these subjects, but it's so pertinently obvious to anyone who pays attention. And it is scary. And expansion and humanistic views are certainly the way to progress. And it has to be done. There's no other way. Just like a business, just like you guys said.
So they want us to go to Mars. All right, I'm going to fast forward. I'm not fucking going to Mars. How about that?
Are much, much stronger. And I just think we have to have the right type of people. And, you know, those people have been on here today, and invite these people. I mean, if they don't want to come, we call them out as cowards. I mean,
wait a minute. Being poor and everybody, wait a minute. General Flint, hold on a minute. I'm going to call you out right now. Eating bugs, drag queen story time, open borders, World War III. You're saying that's not how you're saying their plan isn't wonderful?
Hey, for a guy that has had to eat bugs, Alex, they don't taste very good. So, yeah.
I'll go one step further. I think we should see a 2v2 MMA duel between Alex versus Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates. I think that'd be the real.
I think Elon should call him out. It'll be bigger than the top UFC fight. If those cowards will show up, my God, it'll be their Waterloo.
Elon, do you know how the media works? Do you want to call them out, and then you'll get that snippet all over the media?
Well, I'm certainly happy to have a debate with Klaus Schwab or others. You know, I think you guys maybe been following what's going on in Davos more than I have, and certainly more than the vast majority of people have. I think most people don't even know that there is a conference in Davos or the World Economic Forum. And I've only seen snippets, but, you know, some of the snippets are concerning. And, you know, I don't think we should have a sort of an unelected quasi-governmental organization deciding our future. That's, I mean, who made them the boss? I mean, do people even know that they're doing this? Like, I'm not okay with some organization, you know, that I don't vote for controlling, you know, my destiny or that of other people. So then I don't know if they're necessarily fully controlling, but they certainly are influencing things. And, you know, and it's, you know, I think an unelected world government is not a good idea.
Well, Elon Musk breaks the internet.
On that point, CJ, I'll go to you right after for a question, then Suleiman. But on that point, how much control, you kind of changed it, whether control or influence? Because on one side, you've got people that say, you know, they control the world. Every decision is kind of influenced, or, you know, they make that decision behind the world. On the other side, there's the people making the argument that they're trying to do the right thing and things are being taken out of proportion. It's all a conspiracy. Where do you think on that spectrum, in your opinion, we stand?
Well, I mean, the original premise of the World Economic Forum was to have some kind of forum where there would be interaction between government leaders and commercial leaders, sort of heads of corporations and governments, and that there would be some forum for them to talk. And like that original premise, I think, is not a bad one, because right now you've got the UN, but that's just government to government, and you've got a bunch of sort of individual situations where commercial leaders will meet with government people one-on-one. But there's the sort of the good part of the World Economic Forum is it's probably good to have some dialogue between commercial leaders and government leaders internationally. That's I think the positive side, and that's originally how I heard about the World Economic Forum. And I was invited to speak there many years ago, which I was just too busy working, and I was like, well, I can't really go spend 5 days in Switzerland. I have work to do in America. So then they weirdly wanted me to come talk there, but also pay them $20,000. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I declined the invitation. It does seem that since inception, perhaps this organization has gained a bit too much power and a bit too much influence. And I think it probably, it should have less power and influence, is my opinion.
A quick question. Tweeted about the imprisonment of the American Chilean Gonzalo Lira in Kharkiv, Ukraine yesterday. I'm curious if that imprisonment of an American...
I think that progress, is accelerating. We keep cleaning up the code base and simplifying it, providing more transparency and providing more clarity, and obviously...
We're going to take phone calls in a little bit. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. Get your thoughts on Alex Jones' reinstatement.
Improving freedom of speech and getting closer and closer to the law. And I just want to say, with respect to the law, I am a strong believer in the law. So you'll sometimes read an article where it sounds like I'm some crazy maverick who just likes breaking the law. I am subject to so many laws. It might be hundreds of thousands of laws, maybe millions. When you think about Tesla and SpaceX and Starlink and all the countries that they're in and all the regulatory regimes and all the rules and regulations that we have to adhere to. And the amazing thing is how closely we actually adhere to the law and follow the law and do what countries believe is right and legal. And once in a while, in a very rare case, I might disagree with the law or regulation, but we will not willfully violate it. So what I'm trying to say is I'm extremely law-abiding.
I totally agree with you. I don't know how you have the energy. People talk about Trump's energy. Your energy is insane. Where does your energy come from? Going back to being a child, did you because we know the universe is a loop or a figure eight. It doesn't just go in one direction. Did you have inklings of the big things you were going to do? Or when you were a child, did you have any foresight about what you were going to be doing?
No, not really. I just, I liked technology and like taking devices apart and fixing them and building things. And I loved science fiction, fantasy, like Lord of the Rings and Heinlein and Asimov and Star Trek and Star Wars. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I liked programming computers. I found programming computers to be intrinsically interesting, not because I thought I'd have a job. Actually, I didn't think I'd have a job. I know you could even make money writing computer software, but I was just interested in it in and of itself. So I'd program computers all night by myself, which is not, it doesn't appeal to everyone. That's, I think, actually quite an unusual thing to want to sort of type strange symbols into a computer all night, essentially by yourself, is not what most people want to do, but I did like doing that. And but also hanging out with friends and stuff. But no, I didn't think any of this would happen. I would say I have a philosophy of curiosity, which is, trying to understand more about the nature of the universe and our place in it. And that's why I studied physics, not for career reasons, just to try to understand how the universe actually works and what has good predictive value. And physics has got very good predictive value. So that's why I studied it.
Then give us your predictive value. Gut level, Elon Musk, this is beyond any Hollywood movie where we're at right now. Does humanity survive? Gut level, you've got all these great children. That means you bet on humanity. Do we make it to the next level? And what is the next level?
Elon, you there?
Sorry.
While waiting for
one needs to think of the future as probabilities and not certainties. So then, any given action that we do can affect the probability of a good outcome. There are no certainties that I can determine, or at least I don't have a crystal ball that can.
So we're changing the future.
Yes, I think by our actions, we can individually take actions that improve the probability of a good future and the furtherance of civilization. And I think we should take those actions. And some of that we got to have kids, or there won't be a next generation, and we've got to educate them well. And I think like I said,
So don't hold on.
We didn't have enough time to calculate.
Let me ask this question, Elon, because you're obviously a genius. We're here talking to you right now. Don't predict the future. Be the future.
Yes, the best way to I think I'm forgetting who came up with this, but the best way to predict the future is to create it.
Yes.
And I do want to, Jason Calacanis is here, and they've started. Yeah, let me go to Jason quickly, and I'll go to you in a bit. Jason, a quick question to you first. Would you have Alex Jones on the All In podcast? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Well, I have him here now, so would it be okay if I asked him 3 questions?
Yeah, but Elon's far more fascinating. Please ask Elon questions.
Well, Alex, my first question for you is, I'm curious if you'd be willing to answer 3 questions about the Sandy Hook parents.
Oh, great. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you now have your freedom.
All right, we're not going into the whole Sandy Hook thing again. Like, it just gets exhausting at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here checking the chess results. So they mentioned they basically get into that conversation we just listened to. They started to get into some end of world theory shit. Anybody? What's the name of that movie? That end world movie? Anybody know the name of that new movie that just came out? Damn, I missed Sunny Spaces this morning. Chat, what's the new movie? How is Jason Calacanis on the same level as these guys? Jason runs 500 Startups, I think his name of the company is, and Twist and a couple of other. He's an angel investor, so he's got bread. Leaving the World Behind. Thank you. Leaving the World Behind. So I watched it this weekend. I don't want to give any spoilers. I'll wait until everybody's seen it. And then we'll talk about it. But I gave the movie a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe a 7. Let's talk about the artistry. From the artistry perspective, I got to give it like a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 10 out of 10. The artistry, I mean, I don't know. I'm somebody who, when I watch a movie, sometimes I can't pay attention to the movie because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what kind of camera did they use? The director was phenomenal. Let me just say what I'm trying to say. The director was absolutely phenomenal. The way he captured the shots, the transitions, he really brought you into that world. I remember one scene, Julia Roberts gets up and she takes this walk over to like the wine cabinet or something like that. And the camera, it follows her and it stays like eye level with her. And then it stays here, and then she goes into the cabinet, and then she walks off screen. The camera stays, and she walks off screen. And then the next scene, the next camera flick, it changes, and now it's the husband's view looking out the window as she walks into the frame. Just, you could tell the director was on point. I don't know who the director was, but he was phenomenal. Storyline, phenomenal. It had me captivated. I was talking to a homie this week. The only reason why I watched it, I was talking to one of my homies this week, and he was like, yo, did you see this? And I'm like, nah, I ain't see it. So I watched it. And it had, Mahershala Ali, how do you say his name, and Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke and the other guy. So they had a lot of big names to make this film come together. And it felt like a thriller at first. But Sam Esmail, yeah, phenomenal job. Sam's a genius when it comes to directing. I love the film, the accents, the filters, just everything was perfect. The score, the sound effects. It was a really great film. However, I gave it a 7 and 7.5 out of 10 because I ain't like the ending. I just didn't like the ending. I just didn't like. And I don't want to tell you how it ends because it'll ruin the movie. I just didn't like the ending. I didn't like it. So it's weird because that happens. Then we listen to the Elon Musk conversation. He's talking about leaving and going to Mars. Alex Jones is talking about, end of world theory. And then I get this tweet sent to me. Hold on. So while I was listening to that, I was checking my messages, and I got this. Where is it? Here we go. I hate that. And I don't, is this new? Let's put this on your screen.
People's Liberation Post reveals hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated critical services here in the U.S.
Alexandra Hoff joins us now from our nation's capital. Alex, this is not good.
No, it's not. I mean, this infiltration appears to be part of a broader effort to insert chaos into our logistical systems. The information collected could then be weaponized if the U.S. and China were to become engaged directly in the Pacific. According to reporting from the Washington Post citing multiple U.S. and industry security officials, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services, like an attempt to break into the system behind Texas's independent power grid. Other victims include a water utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline, according to that report you're seeing there. Brandon Wells, executive director of the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity Agency, told the Washington Post this, quote, "It is very clear that Chinese attempts to compromise critical infrastructure are in part to pre-position themselves to be able to disrupt or destroy that critical infrastructure in the event of a conflict, to either prevent the United States from being able to project power into Asia or to cause societal chaos inside the United States to affect our decision-making around a crisis." The report notes that over the past year, hackers affiliated with the People's Liberation Army in China have accessed the computer systems of about 24 critical entities.
Now the U.S. government has become very...
I don't know how new that report is. I just checked the news, and it looks like there was, I don't know, some article about this. But again, you know, maybe there's something here, but again, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about here and what I'm alluding to. But yeah, I just didn't like the ending. Nas said he liked the ending. I didn't like the ending. I just didn't like it. I wanted more. I felt like it was too open-ended. Anyway, let's talk about some big brain stuff. So anyway, welcome back to Twitter, Alex Jones. Great to have you. Welcome back, my bro. Hold on, let's pull this up. Hold on. And Twitter should be better with him. Should be better with him. It'll go right along with that swing to the right that we're witnessing. It's going to go along really well. So, yeah. So, Elizabeth Warren's got a new bill. It's called the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2023. It's by Elizabeth Warren and Roger Marshall. Hold on. Roger Marshall. Republican. Republican. So this is bipartisan support. Okay? Bipartisan support. This is a Republican. Okay? Let's go back. So we got Democrat and Republican put forth this bill. And what does it say here? So first of all, it wants to extend the Bank Secrecy Act. If you read my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking Conspiracy of Money and War, you saw how that eliminated the Fourth Amendment. Go get my book, The Patriot Report.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Get that on HotepJesus.com. Including know your customer requirements, digital asset wallet providers, miners, validators, and other network participants that may act to validate, secure, or facilitate digital asset transactions. Wow. So the first thing that comes to mind is a validator? Like, really? So they're like trying to attack the network? Address a major gap with respect to unhosted digital wallets. So they don't want you to have your own wallet. They want to destroy the concept of having your own wallet, which allow individuals to bypass AML and sanctions checks by directing FinCEN to finalize and implement its December 2020 proposed rule, which will require banks and money service businesses to verify customer and counterparty identities, keep records, and file reports on certain transactions, including involving unhosted wallets or wallets hosted in non-BSA compliant jurisdictions. Direct FinCEN to issue guidance to financial institutions of mitigating the risk of handling, using, or transacting with digital assets that have been anonymized, using digital asset mixers and other anonymity enhancing technologies. So they're coming after the mixers, which isn't the first time. Strengthen enforcement of BSA compliance by directing Treasury to establish an AML CFT examination and review process for MSBs and other digital asset entities with BSA obligations. And damn, MSBs too? So if I'm not mistaken, in this case, they're talking about medium, small size businesses when they're talking about MSBs. Let me just make sure. How did they describe it? No, I'm sorry. Money service businesses. Okay, money service businesses. All right, my bad. So money service businesses. What's CFT? Financial transactions. And other digital asset entities with BSA obligations and directing the SEC and CFTC to establish AML and CFT compliance examination reviews. Extend BSA rules regarding reporting of foreign bank accounts to include digital assets by requiring United States persons engaged in a transaction with greater than 10,000. So they're bringing a 10,000 limit to digital assets, or trying to, through one or more offshore accounts. Mitigate the illicit finance risk of digital asset ATMs. So they're coming after the ATMs by directing FinCEN to ensure that digital asset ATM owners and administrators regularly submit and update the physical addresses of the kiosks they own or operate and verify customer or counterparty identity. Wow. So the concept of using an ATM and remaining anonymous, because you can use a Bitcoin ATM, right? You put your cash in and it'll send Bitcoin to your address, right? Damn. That's so you can't even buy it anonymous anymore. If this were to get passed, right? This might be. This is some of the biggest news to hit crypto this year. This is some of the biggest news to hit crypto this year. I mean, they're talking about miners and validators got to dox themselves. They got to dox themselves. So you gotta, if you run a node, you gotta check in with the SEC. If you're running a mining network, you gotta check in with the SEC, FTS, FinCEN. Is this what they're talking about here? Damn. Yo, like, do people not see a gross enlargement of the government? Like, nobody, like, I know the crypto world's talking about this, but like the regular world, they're like completely oblivious. And they mostly psyop the conservatives into hating digital currencies. So they'll probably go along with this, right? Like nobody on the right's going to make a fuss. Like there's not going to be a big fuss from the right when it comes to when in regard to this type of bill. First of all, you're not going to know about it because, well, you don't watch the Grift Report. Shout out to the people that do. And the rest don't and don't talk about it. Secondly, if you do find out you've been psyoped tonight, like not like digital assets, therefore you'll probably go along with this. But it is an extension of, and they even say it right here, this is an extension of the Bank Secrecy Act and a gross enlargement of the government. Fucking absolutely wild, bro. Absolutely wild. So would you have to register your cold wallet? That's what I'm saying. Like they want us to register our wallets. Kaja Can said, I'll be out in the boonies trading weed for ribeye. I hear you. Yeah, so this is wild. A huge obliteration of the Constitution. So Article 1, Section 8, only the government can own the right to mint or create coin. But this isn't exactly coin. Although it's Bitcoin, this shit could get weird, bro. This shit could get really weird really fast. I don't know. I would need some time to process this. This is and again, this goes back to the whole, is Satoshi Nakamoto a fucking Fed? Satoshi Nakamoto. Because if he was using his fucking brain, why did you name the shit with coin? Why did you use the term mint? Like you used all of the, you could have just said digital asset creation. DAC. We could call it DAC, digital asset creation. Instead of calling, like, don't use their terms because their terms are all in these government documents. I wouldn't even have called it a digital asset. I would have made up a whole new word. I wouldn't have add coin and Bitcoin. Like, so yeah, this is loopy. Obviously it's just got introduced, so nothing has been passed yet. But y'all better go out and vote next year, man. Y'all better get out there and vote, bro. And ask these people about the money. People who ruined physical money when they made it unshavable. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. And I'll go to the phone lines after this short, brief commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
We live. What up, Ghosting?
What's happening?
What's good with him, man? What you think of the whole Alex Jones situation?
My God. Yeah. I just, it was either going to be a struggle section or a dick sucking fest. It was a little bit of both, so that's why I decided to not listen to either iteration of that bullshit.
You said what?
I said it was either going to be a struggle session or a dick sucking fest, and it was a little bit of both. So I decided to not listen to either.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of both. Yeah, I wasn't gonna check in. I saw somebody, pages in one of the group chats, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not watching that. I clicked on it, I clicked on the link, and I saw it was like run by Mario, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, I am glad they stepped on that bitch's dick though.
Who?
Laura
Luma.
Luma.
Why?
Yeah. Because that bitch is a terrorist, man. She doesn't need to talk. She is a certified fucking terrorist.
Why you
right?
say that, yeah?
Because this bitch, look, I'm going to just go back to the motherfucking bombing on the border of Canada and the U.S.
Okay.
All right. She went out there and talked about this was Islamic terrorism, that the fucking world was ending for a good 3 hours solid.
Oh, yeah.
And even after law enforcement was like, yeah, this wasn't terrorism, she was like, they're just covering up for the Biden administration. It was terrorism. Now, how in the fuck much plans got diverted that day? How many people in the area were scared, terrorized, as it were, by her reporting? So that's why I say she's a terrorist. She literally terrorized the motherfuckers.
She never went back to correct herself, and
Nope.
I mean, that's part of when you're in that world. That's part of what you have to do, right? Is double down, weigh in heavy, and don't apologize when you're wrong.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's terrorism. That's literally terrorism, bro. That's how they roll. I mean, so I'm glad he stepped on it, because she wasn't going to do nothing but jump on there and ride off of what dude said about Hamas cutting off heads. She was just going to get on there and Muslim bash, hold Israel up like the standard of the universe, and fucking do that. And he knew that already, so he was like, yeah, bitch, we ain't trying to hear that. Let's hear something.
But why invite her in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. Why you even invite that broad? This bitch she should be reporting on Bat Boy. That's how much motherfucking media credentials she should have. Bat Boy exclusives. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why. I don't get why you would invite her and then not let her speak. That just doesn't.
I think it was just basically a fuck you to her. I think he was just basically rubbing her nose and shit.
Treating her like shit and just rubbing her nose in it.
Yeah. She's pretty high profile, and it's going to draw a lot of people to his shit, but she's been on his helmet before. He don't like that broad. And I don't see how anyone really does, but whatever.
So, I guess what you're saying is he used her, right? He basically said, hey, I want you on stage because it'll draw more people, but I don't actually want you to talk. And when you talk, I'm going to remove you and then add you back to the stage so that it'll boost the algorithm. That's some grimy shit. That's some grimy work right there. Damn, these motherfuckers play by some different rules, man.
Listen, when you prostitute yourself out that tough, don't be surprised when you get all sorts of takers.
Yeah.
He just bought a little piece of her ass too, just like everybody else does. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just think that as far as the whole, end of the world, like let's go to Mars shit, I'm a firm believer that that's the wrong trajectory for humanity.
To go to Mars?
You know what I mean? Just the way they doing it. Maybe it's in the cards for us. Maybe it ain't. Who fuck knows? But I think that we should have a mastery of this planet a little bit more before we start fucking looking to the stars and shit. Because look at how, how it was back in fucking ancient Kemet, man. You know how motherfuckers was doing things, right? Supernatural, as they would call it in scientific spheres, but just like 100% natural as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Until we can get back to that, think we need to leave Mars alone, man.
I agree.
Quit fucking with Mars.
I agree. Get back to yourself.
Yeah, we need to start becoming one with the earth, one with the land again.
Yeah.
Doing things the right motherfucking way here first.
What if they're warning us, right? Predictive programming, that there's a alien invasion or some sort of catastrophic event like a comet or something like that, a meteor about to hit the earth. You know what I'm saying? It could be some shit like that.
It could be. Listen, I got a ton of Christian friends, ton of Muslim friends, you know what I mean? And I subscribe to a little bit of all that. These motherfuckers are saying they're just trying to leave this bitch because they know who's coming back. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
Because they in league with the devil, so they already like, yo, let's
they
see
gotta
if we
go.
can at least hide.
They gotta go.
Yeah, let's see if we can at least hide and try and avoid this judgment that's finna head our way.
Possibility. Strong possibility. Pole shift, yeah. I've been hearing pole shift. I heard again, I don't want to ruin the movie, but also I heard solar flares, all these different things. Internet's gonna go out. Election's not happening next year. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You know, me personally, I see all that shit as fear mongering. That's how I see it. The same way they do with terrorism, the same way they do with, you know, whatever the fuck, China, the same way they do with this. All that shit is just fear mongering.
Right.
So that certain people can position themselves in positions of authority over you and control things.
Right.
I don't think ain't shit wrong with this goddamn earth. Ain't nothing finna be wrong with this goddamn earth. You know what I mean? Ain't shit headed here, ain't none of that. It's been here longer than us. It'll be here longer than us. If it's not our time, it's just not our time. There ain't a fucking rocket ship that can prevent that. You know? We're just gonna be some dead motherfuckers.
Yeah, maybe. But we'll have a satellite. We'll have rocket ships. Hotepistan will have rocket ships. So if there is a dire need to leave, we will have pods in place where everybody can escape the planet, just in case.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Just in case.
That's what's up. But you know, that would make my job as fucking head of immigration a lot easier. Tell you that, man.
Why you say that?
Because we could just have a certain number of pods for a certain number of people. I ain't got to go through applications. Rest of y'all are some dead niggas.
Real talk. Oh, man.
That's what's up, though, man. But I'm going to let you get back to the show.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir, man. Hotep and Bill.
Let's get Strong Dad in here next. What was I gonna say? I'm sorry. No, I have to respond to an email. That's what's on my mind. I'm sorry. That's after the stream. I have an urgent email. Name your team, age group with the team. What league did you play in? Fall or flight? Round did you play in? What was your record this for? Okay, cool. I'll send that.
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad, what up, man?
What's cracking? Just getting some work done. How y'all doing?
What's good? What's good with it, man?
Oh, you know, living life. Hey, listen, that entire session was a whole big pause for me because for me it was like softcore porn listening to that thing, man. Like if I was Elon, man, I'd have been sitting back, you know what I'm saying, just reclining, You know what I'm saying? In a massage chair while these niggas are talking to me. That was ridiculous, man. That was crazy. It was too much for me. It was too much for me. It's stuff like that that makes me think like, all right, everybody in this situation is a fucking, you know, and nobody's on the bus. Nobody dick rides that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, people disagree with you a lot. And you have a close, you know, following. I just don't see that kind of dick using unless niggas are thinking.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that, but I concur.
Yo, listen, and again, I'm so sick and tired of Andrew Tate being in any way. What is this nigga's appeal? And I don't understand at all. I don't understand. And it, you know, I feel like maybe I'm just not reading anything correctly here. You know, my clairvoyance is dead in this situation because for the life of me, I don't get his inclusion in any important conversation.
His importance including who?
And being included in any conversation of importance. Andrew Tate.
Oh, you hate him.
You know I do, man. You know I do. Listen, I know that a lot of, you know, people always say like, you know, hating is because someone's doing something right. Listen, when I hate, it's because I don't like you. I'm doing everything right. My life is great. I just don't like this nigga. He's not intelligent. He doesn't say anything poignant, and I don't understand why he's in these spaces at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
He's got numbers.
Yes. So they're using it to bring in the people, really, is what you're saying.
He's got the numbers. He's got the algorithm.
Okay. All right. I can understand. Everything else, it just baffles my mind. I'm trying to have important conversations with real niggas.
Gigi said, what would you not like about Andrew Tate?
It's not about not liking what he says. It's about him not actually adding anything to the conversation. Anybody can make a hot bar out of something everybody knows. It's not even a red pill take. Like he's talking about, you know, like men and the state of young men in this world. Like Jordan Peterson did it crying. Sam Harris did it on a meditation tape. Like it's not hard to contemplate or even orate that. He just does it in such a low brain level that it's like, why include this when you can replace him with someone who has his same philosophy expanded upon already? And there's so many. You yourself literally are whatever he wishes, like whatever he's trying to present himself as, you are succeeding at, you know, philosophically at least. And this is that's my problem. It's not that I don't like what his takes are, it's that in talks like this, I need people who are going to say things I'm never even thinking about. I don't need people saying shit I thought about when I, you know, first got red pilled when I was fucking 20 years old, man. I'm 36. I need to hear some real shit because my life is progressing. You know, this world is changing much faster. So we need something of utility, not the same old rhetoric that we're going to keep getting that woke us up, you know, when we were just fresh out the box. And that's all I'm saying. That's, you know, it's really no hate against him necessarily. I mean, hate is even a bad characterization of what I would say. I just, you know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan to a high degree. That's all. I feel like that's fair. But yo, this end of the world thing, man. Yo, listen. There's nothing that anybody, like, we're not going to be able to do anything. So, you know, like, just think about it. Until Hotepistan is there and we have rockets available, if the end of the world came today, there's not a damn, like, if you don't have the money now to get yourself to real safety, then in 10 years, you're not going to have the money. Let's just be real. You're stuck on this planet. So just make the best of it. Because do you want to die a piece of shit who never fulfilled their dreams, or who always try but never succeeded because they never tried to apply themselves? All these things you could actually do. You want to die fulfilling your dreams, or do you want to die contemplating the end of the world? That's how I see it. You know, if shit cracks off now and a meteor's here now and I'm going to die today and the meteor's going to hit just me, at least I know I did everything I could, and I put my family in the best position possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to move, and because you're gonna pass on to the next life with a heavy soul, a heavy spirit, and how are you gonna weigh that against the feathers? Is all I'm saying. So you don't want to just spend your time contemplating that. The world can end in a multiplicity of ways. Just be as prepared as you possibly can and roll with the punches. That's all you really can do. There's no type of philosophy that's going to save you unless it is, like, unless it involves going to rob a fucking bank.
The chat said you just a hater, man. They saying ain't nothing wrong with Andrew Tate, man.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, I mean,
somebody said if Tate was black, you be gawking, and then
that's
Goldstein
wrong. That's
responded
wrong, because
said, "He said
DJ
what?
Academics is Tate. DJ Academics is Tate, and that nigga's a bitch. Listen."
Goldstein said Tate is black. That's true. Tate is black.
That's what I'm saying. Also, yeah, Tate has said plenty of times that he's an African. So
yeah,
let's not even play this game
dad's
right
black.
here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Tate dick riders that rock what Hotep is saying, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing to hate. There's nothing to hate. You know what I'm saying? He's got a family. I got a family. We both got a business. My business feeds my family.
You just think I think what it is you don't think he deserves or warrants all the praise he gets.
No, man. There's people who there's so many of us, and I'm not talking about myself, but there's so many in our space who have put in more work and provide more than you. I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about those who have followed in, your vein or around your sphere, who have decided we're going to move past bitching and we're going to present actual solutions beyond the solutions you can find in a self-help book, in the fucking, that 12 steps for dad book or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I need something new here. I need my brain is scratching the surface of trying to move forward. When we're on this channel, I'm hearing shit that is making me think. When he's talking, I'm not thinking. I'm exiting and I'm thinking about bullshit. I'm daydreaming. I'm like, all right, how was my workout this morning? You know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out my rep scheme, but I'm not listening. And he doesn't say anything that makes you actually listen. And if it does, then no shade on you. You're not Hotep yet. Period. Once you're Hotep, he is a little lower brain. That's how I believe. And I have a right to believe that. And I think people should adopt the philosophy of, if you don't agree, then just disagree.
Gigi said, what color is your Bugatti?
What color is my Bugatti? Why the hell do I need a Bugatti? I'm trying to have land. What the fuck? Who needs a Bugatti? I got a fucking 2-year-old baby girl who is a fucking psychopath right now. I don't want chicken nuggets stuck in my Bugatti, nigga. The fuck? Like...
Somebody said Tate isn't for you. Tate is for teenagers. Is that true?
No, listen. Men who are accomplished in blue-collar world, that's who are for teenagers. Men who are doing the hard work that most teenage boys are going to encounter, that's for teenagers. Men who are doing more than complaining about women, that's for teenagers. Because teenage boys need masculinity in the way in the way that they don't provide. They provide that steps for the hurt man. If you're on your villain arc, Tate is for you. If you were hurt by your ex-girlfriend, Tate is for you. If you have mastered that and moved past that, Tate is not for you. You need something more advanced. Your life is ready to progress. If you're trying to build a family, Tate is not for you. That's just the truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. People got to relax with opposing viewpoints. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I don't hate him. I just don't think in these spaces he provides anything, and that's a fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. And and Elon, I think conversationally Elon doesn't provide much either, but intellectually he has. I feel like he's thinking otherworldly, but I want to see him talking to like people smarter than him, if there is anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Ben Gortzel, the fucking AI dude in China, were talking. Like, how's their conversation? I'm trying to hear that. That's appealing to me.
You know, I wish I could have moderated it.
Man.
I think I could have created a really, really, really awesome space and had a really good conversation, and directed the conversation because, quite frankly, I was kind of bored. It wasn't that interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It was boring.
Yeah.
It was oh, you agree with me? Yeah. Tell me how you agree with me.
I think what it is just like, you know, everybody's white hero in one place. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the draw is, where they get all their heroes in a spot, and then, you know, they love it, right? It's like sometimes when you go on Clubhouse, right, and you get all the black heroes are all in one spot, and then they're yelling over each other, right? And then there's nothing productive that comes from it, right? So whether you got your white heroes or your black heroes, it's like, I don't even know if these people should be your heroes because there's not much greatness coming from them. You know, it's just a lot of underhanded moves to get to the top, and that's how they made it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dirty shit to get to where they are. A lot of scammy shit. They had to scam a lot of people to get to the top.
And this is why Hotep Nation grows at the trajectory it grows, because we're not willing to do that.
Yeah.
But that just puts you right, you know, you're closer to every single person in that manner. And the revolution, you know, whatever's going to save us is not going to show up in those circles. It's going to show up in circles like this, that, you know, where people are actually, you know, talking to each other, debating each other, putting each other's ideas to challenge. But you're not going to get it in situations like that. You're not going to find the solution to anything there. And that's, you know, for me, that's what I'm looking for now, because I'm bored with mindless content. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm in between sets. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said white Avenger meeting with Joe Rogan without Joe Rogan is crazy. Y'all big facts. The fact that Rogan wasn't there was, you know, that was troubling me, but, you know, maybe Joe was busy or something like that. But yeah, it was basically a white Avenger meeting, and they didn't talk about anything important.
I got to be honest. I don't know if Rogan has anything more to provide. When he had that conversation with Elon, it was good, but
he's a great moderator. He knows how to handle the conversation.
I agree. He is a better moderator for sure. He's a better moderator,
and he makes great content.
And he brings the people there.
He's like the roles he plays in his interviews. Like, people be like, "Why did Joe Rogan say that?" I'm like, "Yo, he's playing a role for that interview." Like, he not really thinking that. I do the same shit during my interviews. Sometimes I play dumb, right?
Yeah.
Just to see where the person you're interviewing is coming from, right? And to make the interview better. Sometimes you got to do that. Otherwise, it would be a boring interview. So I think Joe Rogan would have been great for the conversation to, you know, give it some, I don't know, some.
You think they'll have another one?
Dimension? Probably. I'm sure there'll be more.
It'd be nice if we could have one without Vivek there, though. That's another thing.
He was kind of boring too.
Yo,
he always bores me.
Man, I feel like they're trying to jig the algo with the top grifters, but it's not working too well.
Yeah. All right, let me get to the other callers, man.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. Love y'all.
Hotep and Bill. We got Mofax looking to call in. Mofax, call in after AK. We want to get Mofax in after AK. Let's hear what Mofax got to say. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. He always got something interesting to say. Mo, I haven't read your text message yet either. It's I left it on Do Not Disturb on purpose. You look right here. I'm going to show it to you. I mean, I left it on unread. See right there? I left you on unread.
Call from,
because I wanna actually read that. What up, AK?
What up, HJ?
What's good with him?
Yeah, man. First off, I gotta come to bat here. Golson needs to leave my Jubu alone, man.
Good Lord.
Yeah, man. Listen. All right, so there's a likelihood that Laura Loomer is going to be Trump's press secretary. her job is not to tell the truth. It's to push the narrative of the side. And so she does really well at that, right? Like, you never admit
She's a
fault.
propagandist.
Yeah, you know, but that's what press secretaries do. So she's auditioning for that role. So, you know, this is going to be a fantastic press secretary. She's going to be very dogged. So, you know, you gotta kind of put things in that frame, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that space though. Yeah, as soon as I saw, you know, I like to listen to a lot of spaces. I guess I should say I used to listen to a lot of spaces, and then they became pretty monotonous. And really the only time that I like to listen to a space that Mario does is if it's international. If it's talking about America anything, I have zero interest because the dude's not American, don't care at all. Like, you know, if I want to listen to some stuff about like, you know, UAE or the Middle East or some European shit, I'll listen to his spaces because, you know, he's not American. So, but listening back, you know, and then I saw stuff on X or whatever. I do think that people underestimate, and you, I imagine, just because you've been successful in your life, I've sat down with a billionaire before, and I think that people don't realize that when you are, you know, in the presence of a billionaire, if you have not mentally steeled yourself, it can be very alluring because you start to think like, well, if I get on the good side, you know, it's going to be helpful. Whereas me, I look at it as just another motherfucker that just is very, you know, financially successful. It doesn't change whether or not I had admiration for them. If I had admiration for them before that or during the conversation in proper context of who they are and what they stand for. But I think a lot of people, as soon as they get that chance, and that's what it felt like with Alex Jones. Like, Alex Jones has been this dude that has been railing against the system for like fucking 40 years, right? And he's never been able to actually have a, if you want to say like equal status conversation with someone that successful. And I think he was a little bit gobsmacked, and I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. And that's what it felt like. Cause like, again, you're talking about the, whatever, richest man in the world or whatever. And like, he called him sir a bunch of times. And, you know, I'm like, sir, come on,
It's
Alex.
the dude that
bro.
didn't want to bring you back. Yeah.
Oh man, you know, like, and listen, I'm glad that Elon made the right move in this case, but I think that Elon's not a stupid man, right? Like, you know, he's very smart, and he understands that he has basically decided he's going to go all in on being anti-establishment. So you need to coalesce all of your pieces together. And so having all of those people in that space, you know, not every single person, but specifically Flynn, having Mario's, he's establishment, he's fucking CIA op or whatever. But then having Andrew Tate and Alex Jones, it's like you have these very large anti-establishment type of figures. And if you can coalesce them around you, that brings a lot of people that, you know, ascribe to those beliefs and values that are warriors for causes. Like, you can say whatever you want about Tate. He's got some die-hard fans. Same with Alex Jones. He has die-hard fans and followers. So Elon's actually making the smart play. Is it genuine? We'll never know, because you'd have to, like, you know, put it in a vacuum and say, you know, pretend that Elon was getting all the big money and everyone was coming along and he wasn't being ostracized by, you know,
Well,
the Walton family.
Elon was playing it safe. Let's just call it spade a spade. He was playing it safe on the stream. He was keeping his distance from Alex's talking points. I didn't hear much adoration for Alex from Elon. Elon's basically saying, look, people voted you back. I'm going to have you back. I'm going to host this space as a grift. I mean, I'm going to have this space as a grift, and then that's just going to be that, right? But it wasn't reciprocated. What do you think about Tate?
So here's my thing with Tate. In Strong Dad's opinion, I agree that some of the stuff that he talks about from a fundamentalist standpoint, like if you're starting at the basics, like, yes, he understands that. But once you get beyond that, once you've, you know, figured out that you are this being that has autonomy and that you have the ability to control your outcomes based off of the way that you perceive the world, then Andrew Tate is no longer viable. And, you know, I think Andrew Tate being pulled into the conversation is because he has been a victim, you know, whether or not you think how much of a victim he is, to going against the machine and having the machine come down very hard on his head. Pause. But for better or for worse, like you can say that he put himself in that situation, which he most likely did. But they went extra hard, and this is the way that I always explain the way that I perceive stuff. If you are a person that has bad intentions and you go around skirting those rules and you are anti-establishment, they will crush you when you fuck up. If you toe the line and you fuck up, then they'll cover for you. So the question isn't necessarily was everything a complete setup. I think that that's preposterous. To imagine that the Tate brothers literally did nothing wrong is absurd. They clearly did something. Now, I believe that then they take it and then they kind of multiply, magnify it, and then they bring it down in a much harder stance. So that's always been my position on the Tates, is that it's good for in kind of like a initiation, but then you have to move away from them, because if you're looking to them for long term, that's when you start getting into this cult ass stuff, right? Like I watched this video of like all these men that pay whatever thousands of dollars to go to like some compound and like train how to be a man, and then they like fight each other. That's listen, bro, that is straight cult shit. I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you hit me up and say, hey, AK, man, we're going to throw Hotep combo. We're going to start, Mortal Kombat each other. And, like, we're going to, like, be beating each other. I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good, dog. Like, I don't think we need to, like, you get that voluntary association without feeling like you have to make, like, a blood oath or something. And that's what it feels like he does. But that's the way I look at Andrew Tate, is that it's not that he's coming from a bad perspective. I just think that what he's doing is very, very thin. Gives good fundamentals, but then beyond that, you have to find your growth on your own,
Yeah. All right. Cool. Good chat, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
All right, man. Hotep and build.
All right. Hotep and build. It's not a bad Tate. It's not a bad Tate. Mo Facts. Let's get Mo Facts on the line. Mo, call in, man. Andrew Tate's Foot Clan. Retro said, nice chill show today. You gonna play chess later? Yeah. We got chess lesson tonight, 8 p.m. Kick.com/Hotep Jesus. Go subscribe to the channel and be on Kick. That's what you see on your screen right now is Kick. I really love Kick's interface. If Rumble doesn't work and YouTube doesn't work, you'll probably see me stream on Kick. So you guys can catch me there. So that's another backup channel, kick.com/Hotep Jesus. So if you're ever looking for me streaming and I'm not on YouTube and I'm not on Rumble because YouTube went away and Rumble's down, I'll be on Kick. So check me out over there, kick.com/Hotep Jesus. But that's my gaming channel, / backup channel. So I'll do all my gaming over there. Basically playing chess. Hey, Mo, let's get Mo. Mo, call in, man. Let's get Mo Facts on the line. See what Mo got to say. I just got the iOS 17.2 is available update. I'm gonna wait though. I'm not gonna download it yet. I'm gonna wait and see what y'all say. See if there's any problems, and then I'll download it. Rick Ross got a new girlfriend. Christina Mackey. Wow. Interesting. Maybe he'll sign her to the label and help her push her music career. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting selection of women. Mo Fax isn't calling in, so let's go to the next one. Who the hell is this? Justice League United, your voice is needed.
So you've got the richest guy in the world.
Oh, somebody posted the that guy Farzad. Somebody texted me yesterday. Everybody kept hitting me like, Hotep, join us. I'm like, man, I'm on a social media detox. I'm not about to go up there and talk to these fools. I don't even think I would have made it to the stage because you kind of got to be in a certain club, and I'm not in that club. You have to be like establishment certified, and establishment definitely don't fuck with Hotep Jesus, and I don't fuck with the establishment. So I don't know who to pick next. Fuck it, let's just go to Jonah. Jonah, call in, man. Let's talk to Jonah, see what he got to say. You said no way Fabi gonna be Hikaru? Yeah. Fabi's good though. He's dope. I like Fabi. I think didn't he win the chess? Didn't he? I think he won the U.S. chess championship this year, but that's not saying much because United States is like dead last when it comes to chess. I think the current champion's China. The previous champ is where's Magnus from? Is he Norwegian? I think. Jonah, what's up, man?
No, hey. I thought the Council for National Policy was kind of restricted who their identity was, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
CNP, Council for National Policy?
Yeah, you got to call back. Your phone fucking up. Call back.
Give me a second there. I'm on Bluetooth. I'll take you off.
You on Bluetooth?
It's better?
Hello?
Yo, that's better?
Yeah, that's much better. You
Okay.
got to buy the official
saying,
Bluetooth. Don't buy that Bluetooth stuff from China, man.
No, it's official. It's just, I think it's almost dead.
Oh.
I don't know what worked right. Now, I thought the Council for National Policy was kind of real strict about who their identity is, but you get all these feds up there, showing who they are.
What?
The Council for National Policy, it's like the right-wing version of CFR.
Okay, what about them?
I'm implying that General Flynn, Alex Jones, all of them are, well, Alex Jones is allegedly, but, they're all belonging to one of those CFR organizations for the right.
They do? You have that document,
that
or
was.
you just guessing?
Which one?
You just guessing? This is like a theory of yours.
No, there's leaked or redacted versions of who their members are.
And Andrew Tate was on that list?
Not him, but that's a whole other story. Like, tell me other than Jeffrey and Epstein, who just got the charges twice and gets away with them both times in the same country that Hunter Biden making all his money.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who else other than Epstein gets away with those charges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion on him. But anyways, if you want to know who Senator Marshall is, I put it in your DMs.
Hold on.
You have to see the video. You'll know exactly who he is and why he's pushing for this.
I'm blocked by that person. I can't see it. Hold on. I got to change accounts.
Well, anyways, he's the one. Remember January 6th, and then there was a guy who's sitting behind and flashed the triangle hand sign at Mitch McConnell? The video?
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
Yeah, that's Marshall.
Oh, he does that little hand signal.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that's who Marshall is pushing this bill, so I thought I'd put that on your radar.
Damn, that's wild.
Other than that, I don't have much to say about all these feds collecting overtime on the Sunday.
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I got that on the screen now.
Hotep Bill.
Hotep Bill. Wait, what? Yeah, it looks like that Marshall guy throws up the official Illuminati Freemasonry symbol as Lindsey Graham turns around, and then he puts his hands back immediately. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. I don't know. I don't know what to think. What's going on with this match? Still kind of evil.
Call from
Mo Facts. Mo.
How you doing, Hotep?
What's good, man? How you feeling, bro?
Doing pretty good. Just tripping off this whole panel thing, and you know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of like one of those house of consciousness powwows.
How?
How you know how like you get a bunch of different people with a bunch of theologies in one room?
Yeah.
And they're just taking it in a whole bunch of different directions.
Yeah.
You got like a Hebrew Israelite. You got a Commission in there.
Yeah.
You got that's what it reminded me of. It was all over the place. And one of your people said, "Why did they have Andrew Tate there?" Andrew Tate's the eye candy. Pause. That's why he was there. And that's what we talk about. That you got to have some way to attract the quote unquote cool people in. So that was his whole purpose. And he even called in. He was cool. I was playing poker, but I decided to drop in. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't have missed this for the world. But that was my optics. That was my optics of it. Just, just looking at the panel and who it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to beat a dead horse about what I'm saying, all the glazing that was going on.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting is this going to Mars thing.
Yes.
What that reminded me of is like when the Crown had its foot up the commoner's ass in England, going to the New World. It's like, we're going to go to the New World and escape this tyranny. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've never heard Americans talk about retreat like this, especially going to, a whole nother planet.
Yeah.
Which they don't understand. Once you set it up, the Crown going to come just take it over again, the same way they did America.
Well, they want to be the Crown there. You saying the Crown going to find them there and take that shit over?
Just like they did America. They sent all the people here through transportation. You know what I'm saying? They developed it along with ADOS/FBA slavery. And then the Crown came and was like, all right, you got it established. It's time for us to take over. And what I'm leaning on is, I don't know if you ever heard this book called The Cowboy and Yankees Wars. Have you heard that before?
No.
So basically, it's the people that went out the same way when America was established. People felt like they couldn't establish the original colonies, so they moved out west to Texas and on the frontier. That was the Cowboys. The Yankees were the people that, from the New England states and the old aristocracy. And there was this war going on, H.L. Hunt versus the Kennedys. It's the same thing now. You know what I'm saying? It was oil versus old money. It's the same thing now. And that's what I'm hearing is like, we're just going to leave. I've never heard that before. It's always been, before it was America, from our cold dead hands, you know what I'm saying? We'll blood and soil, we'll be on this soil until they drag us off. Now we're talking about flying, and not we, but they're talking about flying to Mars? That sounded very weak to me, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm purely objective.
So what are they fleeing?
White supremacy. The Crown, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Who's fleeing white supremacy?
The Cowboys.
Who are the Cowboys?
The Cowboys are the people that established the West with oil, beef, agriculture, those things. The Yankees are the bankers. Look, you can look it up. It's a whole book on this.
The Yankees are the bankers? Keep going.
Yes. So the Yankees are the bankers, the old money, the establishment, the Crown.
Yeah.
The Cowboys say, okay, we'll go, like right now, we'll go to another frontier, we'll establish it, we'll get the natural resources, we'll eliminate the locals or the natural inhabitants of the land and set it up. And this whole war this war has never ended. That's what the JFK whole deletion was about.
So that's to say that you believe the people in the room are Cowboys and not Yankees.
Yes.
Wow.
And Elon is the king of the Cowboys.
Is he?
Once again, that's
to say he's on the up and up, though.
No, because Cowboys, you're saying Yankees, I don't see them as any different. It's just two wings on the same bird. That's just my perspective.
Okay.
It's just their methods. One likes order, nice order, monetary control, like you was talking about the Bitcoin. That's how they roll. You know what I'm saying? If something we don't like, we'll legislate it. We'll put we'll lean on our politicians, they'll write laws, and then we'll control it that way. Whereas the Cowboys don't mind getting their hands dirty. Going and actually terraforming and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm hearing, because I've never ever heard, I'm saying, like, since I've been living, Americans talking about fleeing. And as you know, Hotep, we just got to keep it real. That's one of the things with the ADOS FBA. They say, you know what I'm saying, we kind of adopted that from the Americans, is that we don't run. You know what I'm saying? We have a chance to leave America, but we ain't running. You know what I'm saying? So when you start hearing patriots talking about leaving and going to Mars, like that sounded weak to me. I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I don't agree. I see it as well, I guess it could be the Cowboys, right? I guess if we're going with what you say, I guess it could be the Cowboys. Yeah, I saw it as an opportunity to create new slaves.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's the
It's
thing.
just a different.
Like,
You're just saying that they just go about it differently. One's more blue collar and one's more white collar.
Well, the Cowboys don't mind getting their hands dirty. The Yankees don't mind reaping the benefits of slavery, but they don't want to get their hands dirty. It's like you take care of that, and you just kick my money up to me. Whereas the Cowboys will go out here and actually. That's the thing. That's why they call the Cowboys. They'll go out on the range and look for natural resources, oil, gold, silver, those kind of things. They're like, getting it, like we say, getting it from the mud. The Cowboys get it from the mud, whereas the Yankees, they've been born in it.
So who's the Rothschilds?
They're the Yankees.
But they dealt heavily in oil.
Yeah, once it was established, see, that's the thing. They don't mind the Cowboys going to establishing it because they'll just say, we just take it from you through legislation, taxation, or whatever methods we need to use. And that's why the Cowboys like, hey, we out here getting it and setting up shop, and you coming in and you're saying because you got the muscle and take it from us.
So new territory because because the game here has already been won.
I don't feel like they can. What I heard. If I don't feel like they think they can win here, either they're outnumbered. You got to think, Elon's only one billionaire.
They're outnumbered?
Yes. Can they go billionaire for billionaire with the quote-unquote establishment?
I'm trying to visualize them as two separate groups. Because the way Elon moves, it's like he moving with the Yankees.
Well, that's the thing. They don't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose that connection, because like they can cancel you. People say, oh, you can't be canceled. You can't be canceled. And when you have that amount of money, it's only certain circles you roll in. There's only certain restaurants you go to. There's only certain airports you fly into. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes a small world when you become a billionaire. Because there's only certain places you can go, and he don't want to lose that connection. That's why he had to bend the knee to Israel.
Right.
Because he don't really, it's like he's sticking his toe in the water. And like, let me go over here. And another thing it reminds me of is Dinner with Idiots. Have you ever seen that movie? It's kind of like, I'm a billionaire, but I got nothing to do on Saturday night. Let me go over here and talk to, and I'm not calling them idiots, but that's how they see, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists and things of that nature. Is that they're beneath me. And that's why they had to invite Laura Loomer up there, because when you look at the Summer Jam flyer, you got a little bit of everything on there. You know what I'm saying? You got Andrew Tate, you got Flynn for the older crowd, you got Laura Loomer for the hardcore, whatever she represents. You got Alex Jones for the hardcore conspiracy theorists, quote unquote. I don't like using that term, but it's how he's seen. And it's like, come on, come on. Just telling you how I see it. The only thing was missing was some color, which Candace Owens is out of commission right now.
So Candace Owens is the only black voice? Well, they had C.J. Pearson there.
That was the stand there. we need some color up here. That's just how I see it optics-wise. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I saw from a 1,000-foot view.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just weird that I've never heard them talk about retreat like that. It was like, wow. Like it was kind of like how in the conscious community, we're going back to Africa. Like we can't win in America, so we're going to go back to Africa. But it's like, what is your plan? You know what I'm saying? That sounds hot. Going to Mars sounds hot. But how do you plan to get billions of people to Mars?
Well, it definitely ain't gonna be billions.
Oh, so you're gonna leave us behind? You're gonna leave us behind? Is that what we're saying?
Well, isn't that how all the movies talk about it?
So what's the difference? It's just another form of elitism here.
Correct. That's why I said I was having trouble understanding how you separated them into, Cowboys and Yankees. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what separates them is their methods and means.
Right.
It's elitism they share.
Yeah.
But the methods and means is one is more refined, one is unrefined.
Yeah.
One is, like I said, natural resources. Because if you look at it, when the Cowboys took over, aka the Bushes, where they go? What their first thing they went and did? They expanded their territory to the Middle East, got the natural resources, the oil, you know what I'm saying, the poppies, everything.
I'm gonna have to check this book out, man.
It's on YouTube. I mean, it's a YouTube video as well, an audio book if you want to listen to it. And when I heard, I was like, this makes perfect sense. It cuts across that
What's the
left,
point,
right,
though?
Democratic.
Like just because you can, say these two groups operate differently, like what's the point in delineating? They're either they're fucking against us or they for us, right? Like I always like to simplify things instead of, making things more difficult. But what's the point in like if they're on the same side?
Well, they're not on the same side. They want the same thing. They're not on the same side. Let's be clear of that. They're you know what I'm saying? This goes back to
they're
way
on the same
back.
side as far as wanting the same things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the methods is different, and they are both agree that we need to be stepped on and controlled. I mean, because you look at the Rockefellers.
Right. So what's the point? So what's the point in delineating the difference between them if the goal is the same?
Well, what happens is this right here. When they need help from the proletariat or the common man, one will come down and talk to us. Like, hey, common man, we need you on our side.
Mm-hmm.
We're for you. We're standing up for your rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we come into the picture at. The same way with the Democrats and Republicans, with the black vote, right? They come, they're both two wings of the same bird in a way, but they'll come and talk to the black people, and I'm segueing to something else, to say, hey, black person, don't you want to leave that plantation? But you just end up on another plantation in a way.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like they could be diametrically opposed to each other, but share the agreements that we don't mess with them, the low people, the bottom people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll break the rules and say, well, I'll go deal with the common man because I need to get some advantage up on the other side.
Mm.
Hopefully I'm making sense.
Barely. I'm having trouble following you. I just don't. What's the point?
What's the point? It's power. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always controlling
Yeah,
power.
but what's the point in delineating? I still don't see the point in delineating.
Okay, let me get to that point. Just like Elon said, we need more people. And I've said this on your show before. He's on the more people side because he sells what? Commodities. All the commodities people are on the more people side. The technical people are on the less people side. We got AI, we got all these bots, robots, everything else. We don't need these people anymore. And Elon's like, hey, I got some chips to sell.
Mm-hmm.
What good is chips without brains to put them in? We need more people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the dividing line for them. Is do we need to go to 10 billion people or down to half a billion?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, technology and methods is the only thing that divide them. And we're just pieces. It's a game of chess going on, and we're pieces on the board.
Yeah.
And we get it confused that we're actually playing a game of chess. No, you're just a piece on the board.
Correct.
To be moved around.
Right.
And what this was the official coming out, to me, the official coming out party of the Cowboys. And I will make one last point on that. Ain't it funny that the two biggest sports franchises in America is the Cowboys and the Yankees?
Mm. That's
and
true.
where are they located at? Texas and New York.
Texas and New York, yeah.
The power centers. So I'm just saying that, but I'll relent that point to make my other point, the text I sent you about with the RFK thing. I see RFK is getting in with the King family.
Mm-hmm.
It is like RFK is the new Trump. And this is what we talked about before with them, him using his uncle's blueprint of same thing, carving off support, the black support for his political means. Now, we all know Malcolm X even said it himself. The people who supported King even said it. JFK did nothing for black people. Really set them apart, but he's running on his legacy that the King and the Kennedys have a great relationship. How? How did they have a great relationship? When Jackie O said that Martin Luther King was a disgusting man, when Robert F. Kennedy was investigating King the whole time, along with J. Edgar Hoover. And now y'all want to go get with the King family to come to us black people to say, hey, we got a great relationship. So I'm just, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of this is connected in a way that we're just pieces on the board that they're moving around. The only thing can save you is you and your God. And it's crazy that these so-called believers, one is Islam and the other ones are Christians, they're looking to a man to save them. Elon Musk, are you kidding me? And if this is the end of the world, how you going to outrun the end of the world, Armageddon, on Mars? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know who's more out there, you or motherfucking Goldstein.
Honestly, I don't think I'm that far out there because it's the same. I think what's jarring is you're typically looking on the political lines. If I was saying left, right, Republican, Democrat, it would make sense. But the fact that I'm talking about
No. I understand what you're saying. I just don't understand the conclusion you're trying to draw from what you're saying. Like, what's the whole point of all of this? Like, what's the point of you?
Power. At the end of the day, the point is power.
No, but we get that. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, all right, so we got the Yankees, we got the Cowboys, and they're both, different sects of the ruling class. Okay, and now what? It's for power. Okay, we knew that.
They're just going to keep what I'm saying.
I think what makes the most sense to me is, like you said, this is their coming out party. The Twitter Spaces we saw, right? This is their coming out party, and basically saying, "Yo, we're about to form the Legion up. Let's get together, and now we're going to make some moves."
Yeah, and the only thing that I found, I'm gonna say it again, I found jarring. I didn't hear the words, "We're going to take our country back." I didn't hear that. It's kind of like they did a fair catch. It's like, we're giving you Earth. Our thinking is the next 100 years.
So you're saying
the
Yankees have said, you know what, you can have Mars.
Yeah, well, the Yankees said you can develop Mars, and we're just gonna take that from you too. It's a retreat game. Like I said, it goes back to how America was established.
So you're saying they're letting Elon have Mars?
Yeah, you can have the new world.
No, they'll just come and take it later. Once you develop it. Once you put all the work in and develop it, then we'll come in and make it better and take it over.
You know why? Because we have money.
Right.
And we control money, not the fact that you have the abundance of money. No, we control money. Control it. Just like with Bitcoin. Yeah, you can set it up. That's a great idea. How about we outsource the CBDC through Bitcoin? Y'all set it up, and then we'll just come hijack it and make legislation around it.
Right. Yeah.
That's how That's how the Yankees operate, from my understanding. They don't get their hands dirty. It's like you figure it out the same way with Apple and Samsung, right? They let Apple do all the hard work of making the iPhone. Then they just came in, stole all the patents, made their product, and then they said, expire, sue us, we'll pay you. But you did all the research and development and saved us time.
Yeah. I mean, inside the guts of the iPhone is Samsung, so, yeah.
And I think that's how they move. That's how they're moving right now, is the fact is that they're going to let Elon set it up, and then they'll just come, would it be 20, 30, 50 years, and then we'll just take that from you.
Right.
So that's my point. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't want to belabor the point, and that's what my text was about. I'm seeing black, quote unquote, political influencers making their case for riding with RFK over Trump.
Riding with RFK over Trump. People weighing in and giving their points. Yeah, that's kind of I don't know. It's not a conversation I would participate in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's kind of pointless.
And what makes it pointless is I thought y'all said 4 years. I'm not going to say no name because I know you got relationships. But what I just find weird is y'all was telling us 4, 6, 8 years ago how bad the Democrats are, but now you're blind to the fact that Kennedy's a Democrat.
But he's running independent, though. So they don't see the Democrat play.
And so should that be somebody that should be an influencer?
I mean, everybody's an influencer now.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, like, that's what bothers me is just like, if you can't see that, then why are we? And I think that's what one of the callers making about Andrew Tate.
Well, I
you
think
look the influencer tell you something that you don't know already.
Yeah, well, I think for Angela, this is a career move for her. She had been wanting to get involved in politics for a really long time, and this is an opportunity for her to get her feet wet. So for her personally, I thought it was I mean, they have no chance in hell on winning, right? But I thought it was a great career move for her. And I thought it was interesting that the Republicans and the Democrats basically said, we're not even going to talk to the black demographic this year. They are a non-entity. And then it falls into RFK's lap, and he goes and gets probably, next to Sonny Johnson, a real black person to run his campaign. I mean, when was the last time you had a real black person run black outreach for a political campaign? Can you name one?
And you can see it. I can't. And you can see it by the media outlets they're using. They have their finger on the pulse to know, okay, this is not what we think black people like. This is what actually black people listen to, like Earn Your Leisure and, you know what I'm saying, outposts like that, Math Hoffa. You know what I'm saying? They're actually hitting the right points. And I agree with you. I think I'm not knocking anybody. The point I'm trying to make is that this whole thing is fluid right now. It's a fluid situation. And like I said, I'm not knocking Angela because that's what's best for her. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make the best move for you, right? And your business. But what I would say to her is a cautionary tale is when you leave MAGA, breaking up with MAGA is a hard breakup.
Yeah. Well, they didn't respond to her. They didn't give her what she wanted.
Right.
So she didn't have a breakup if they didn't have a marriage.
I'm not talking about the top people. I'm talking about your supporters. Because what's your dude's name? Lucas, Amazing Lucas or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When he broke up with them, it got ugly.
Yeah, but he still got his viewership. Still got his channel. Still got subscribers. People still check for him.
True. I'm just saying that crowd. That you're saying.
You're gonna lose some of that crowd.
Yeah.
But for the most part, as an influencer, people are glued into you and not really your party allegiance. So when you deviate from party allegiance, you don't actually lose fans. You just lose people who are never really down for you to begin with.
True, but then when you lose numbers, that makes you look like you're losing influence. That's the slippery slope.
It could look like that, but it usually doesn't. It doesn't look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like usually you still retain the same amount of subscribers or followers you have. Your viewership may be down a little bit, but your viewership tends to be more potent when it's down. And the algorithm adjusts based upon how many followers you got. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, with Angela, it's I don't know. It's a little more nuanced than that, I guess.
It's the best. Like I said, I didn't want to make this personal. I'm just saying, like, it's very. Trump needs to be concerned. You know what I'm saying? Because
but when you losing, like when you say you losing MAGA, like, are you really losing anybody?
What you lose is the built-in fan base of if you make a tweet, you know you're going to get 20, 30, 50 likes on the tweet.
But you're not losing nothing. You're not losing nothing. Those are fake likes. Those are fake retweets. Like if you like this has been the trajectory of my career. Right? I got more live viewers now than I ever had. But my numbers don't look the same because I've lost a lot of people who are party line followers.
Well, I got to give you credit. And like I say, I ain't glazing.
And I've done more with it. I've done more
I ain't
with
glazing.
less numbers.
I got to give you credit.
Thank you.
You were Hotep Jesus who supported Donald Trump, not a MAGA supporter. You know what I'm saying? Who was Hotep Jesus.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, but when she deviates from MAGA and goes with RFK, it's like when you say those MAGA numbers are ignorant red whites, and they don't fucking matter. What she's going after are real networking relationships. Like she had Ed Lover there, and Math Hoffa, I think you said, was there, and whoever else. Like, what she gets out of this is going to transcend politics. She's going to be able to move into different assets of her life based upon her work on this campaign. She gets to borrow money that she doesn't have to pay back. It's a big move for her personally, and I think she gains much more with a better demographic than she loses.
But you're going into a more crowded room because a black Democratic supporter is a dime a dozen. And like I said, I'm gonna let people.
But if
know
they're
I'm a
not
political
Democrat though,
atheist.
they're independent. He's
Is
running
there
as an
really
independent.
is there really an independent party in this country? Seriously.
What do you mean?
Is there at the end of the day, you have two flavors of ice cream. And people like to do this thing like, give me the swirl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a soft serve, you got vanilla, you got chocolate.
Yeah.
And people want to do this weird thing like, let me get the swirl.
Yeah.
It's like, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In this political atmosphere, I don't think it works like that. Because you're going to be beholden to solidarity and the party lines.
Well, America runs off of a two-party system. When you say, is there really an independent party? There is, but they don't matter is really, I guess, what you're saying, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's true. They don't fucking matter because America runs off of a duopoly. So, but again, it's still amazing to see who he selected, right? Regardless of the king, he picked a real person. Angela Stan King is a real person.
Of course.
She's not bought and paid for. She had the opportunity to sell out and did not sell out. She's going to do real passionate work. And it's like, even with the RNC or the GOP, and we look at people who are doing real passionate work versus people who are just grifting. Like when I think about the red whites, I think about Scott Pressler. It seems like he's got a genuine grift where he's actually doing real work. And I think he actually cares about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with some of the grifters, they're just taking advantage of the political climate, right? They're not actually putting the work in, right? So to speak.
Right.
And I
didn't want to make this conversation about Angela. It was more about what we were talking about before about him and his strategy of using JFK. That was more of my point. Yeah.
No, I get that. But I just wanted to dive into the now instead of the then because it's more relevant, right? But it's just interesting to see a real person because I always thought like, what would it look like if Sonny Johnson had if somebody gave her a position of power to actually have some outreach. It gives Angela Stanton King something that transcends this election, which potentially could be the black vote. Like, what if Angela King was running a black vote? You know what I mean? Like somebody has, in a black community, somebody's got to step up and take control of our vote.
No, that's what I'll disagree with you on that one. Okay. And I think that's what neither political party doesn't understand. The only group that's going off of issues right now is the black vote. That is the only group that's going off of issues.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care what party you is. Stop the illegal immigration. We don't care what party you in. You know what I'm saying? Drive down the cost of goods and, you know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is we need somebody to organize the black vote. Aside from policies, right? We need somebody who is going to take the individuals like Math Hoffa, Ed Lover, et cetera, and put them in a room and talk, right?
Well, they should pick me and you And I would tell, I don't know what you would tell them, but I would tell them, keep your ass at home and stay out of it like you staying out of Israel and Palestine.
Stay out of white folks' business. Stay out of white folks' business.
Stay out of white folks' business. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna be blamed for it. So let them decide which way they want to go with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, as we've always done throughout, you know what I'm saying, history, we've countered whatever comes at us.
Yeah.
Because however this thing ends, we're gonna if it swings over to Trump and Trump has a bad run, oh, the black people did it. You know what I'm saying? Like how they give us Obama. You know what I'm saying? Black people, you know, I was seeing something on Twitter the other day. Obama ruined this country. I'm like, come on, like he had some bad policies. Don't get it twisted. But this country was headed in decline long before he even showed up on the political horizon.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. We got to be careful of this. When people start asking us our opinion, don't have one. And I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? When people start asking black people our opinion, don't have one.
Not even an opinion. I can understand not voting, but don't even have an opinion
that I care to share with you.
But you share a lot of opinions.
You said what?
You share a lot of opinions
because they're not asked. When I want to volunteer them, I'll volunteer them.
Right.
But when somebody comes to ask you, what do you think? Because Hotep, you've been in the room. Hey, Hotep, what do you think about this? That's a loaded question already.
Yeah. You better toe the line. You better say what we want to hear you say.
Or you're showing your true colors. You know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So when a person asks you or prompts you for your opinion, I want to make it clear what I'm saying. You can share your opinion, as we all should, because that's how we get to a consensus. But when people start coming to ask you, what do you think about this? I haven't really given much thought.
Yo, I notice people be trying to set me up on Twitter. They'll ask me a question for my opinion. And I'm like, I see what you're trying to do here, because you know how I'm going to answer this question, and you know it's going to be unpopular. So you're trying to make me work against myself.
Right, and retweet. As soon as you answer, retweet.
And then retweet.
See, Hotep stands with me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I ain't going to hold up the callers or whatever, man. Like, we got to have a sit down and have one of our long powwows. It's long overdue. But, I would just say, once again, I'm going to say it just to be repetitive. If a person asks you for your opinion, just say, I haven't given it much thought, or I haven't to be able to comment on it.
All right. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, have a good one. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. I love arguing with Mo. One of my most favorite people to argue with. Great ideas. I'm going to head out. No more phone calls. I got shit to do. Kev, he wanted me to mention, y'all should go check out Alex Jones Endgame. Go check that out. Really good film. I remember that. I think that was probably one of the films that made me a fan back in the day when that came out. Really, really good documentaries. Is that the main documentary? I feel like, I think that was his main documentary back in the day. That was the first one, right? If I'm not mistaken. Great documentary. Go check that out. I'm out of here. I'll be back tonight live with Uncle Hotep. Patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You. So anybody who wants access to that will be back tonight. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the Grift Report. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.